Howdy, friends and floor heads. This is night 3 of our mini marathon. We streamed 2 nights ago. We did Forbidden Lands. Last night, we premiered our Mothership. If you have not watched that, I highly recommend it, especially if you're into horror. And tonight, we're doing episode 3 of Fear Itself. I've said this 3 nights in a row. I'm really excited to play tonight. We left things in a very interesting spot, and I think we should just jump right in. So, hello, everybody. Let's get started. I'm imagining we fade in from black, and we're in Arthur's room, in his bedroom. We're above his bed. He's got his sleep mask on, his one-piece pajamas. He's tucked in nicely in his bed, and kind of the camera comes down, and we get a quick peek at his analog alarm clock that's on the desk, and it shows 4 a.m. We then crossfade to Lisa's apartment. We see the papers of all the research that she's been doing throughout the night spread all over the floor, and then somehow at some point, she fell asleep on the floor, but it looks like she made it back to the couch. So we kind of see her tucked in, still with a book in hand, eyes closed, sleeping soundly. We then cross-cut to Lucy's room. On her clock, it again shows 4, maybe 4:01 now. And I think you wake up thirsty, Lucy. So nothing odd or anything, but you wake up and you're thirsty.
Okay, being thirsty, I'm gonna get up and go into the kitchen.
So as soon as you open your bedroom door, fully expecting, of course, to see Randall on the couch. That's where he said he would be. The back of the couch is what you face when you come out of your bedroom. So you really can't see over that. But the room is not how you left it. You notice the jacket that you were wearing yesterday has been tossed onto the floor, and it's opened up. And the inside right pocket of the jacket has been ripped off. And it's kind of like your little hidden pocket. Things that, you'll put stuff that you like when you don't want anybody to know that it's there. Maybe when you're traveling, you put your passport in there. But it's been torn off the jacket. You see crumbled 2 white boxes, and you recognize those white boxes immediately. Those, of course, are blue gold boxes. And next to each of those boxes, you can see the bubble container, which normally would have 30 pills, one per day in them. And they're both about half empty. So as you're piecing it together, you're going, wait a minute. They must not have taken all the pills from me from earlier today. They must have left a couple in my jacket, because those aren't your pills. They're not marked. They have no names on them. Last but not least, not only are both of them over half empty, but it looks like some sort of animal or something got into them. So you can see some crumbs and some crumbles of the thamazine like around the area. So not knowing anything, it literally looks like a raccoon got into your house, ripped the pocket off of your jacket, and ate a bunch of drugs. As you walk closer, though, then you see that your door is not closed, and you see Randall's missing. We then crossfade to the tail end of the train passing Randall. Randall, you're about 3 or 4 feet away from the tracks. You're on your back, and I would imagine trying to piece together what the hell's going on.
Do I recognize where I might be in town, or if in town?
So I think it takes a little bit. You kind of look around, and then you realize, yeah, you know what? This must be the tracks running just outside of Allentown. It's not super familiar, but then you can see the lights of Allentown a good 3-4 miles away. And you recognize the skyline, right? So yeah, you're looks like you're about 3 or 4 miles outside of town along the tracks.
I just imagine Randall kind of standing up, getting his bearings, right? Just looking around, figuring out where he's at, how the hell he got there, why this dream was so vivid, but then all of a sudden he's at these tracks where he feels like he almost got hit by a damn train. Um, I can only imagine him still focused on Lucy's safety with all this, knowing what has happened in the past. He feels that urge to get to her side as soon as possible.
So you also realize like you've got a really bitter taste in your mouth, like an aspirin taste. And you kind of go like this with your hand, and you look and you can see just like a white dust come off your beard onto your hand.
That's alarming.
Yeah, I don't think you've ever chewed your pills before, but I don't think it's a big jump for Randall to kind of figure out that what that dust is and what that flavor is in your mouth.
Yeah, he's definitely going to take note of that and remember that. But I think he's still so focused on getting to Lucy and probably just straight booking it, knowing exactly where he's at, just booking it towards town, full sprint.
Yep. So you start heading in. It's going to probably take you a good hour to get there. So let's cut back to Lisa. Or I'm sorry, cut back to Lucy. So Lucy, we cross-cut back to you. Your door is cracked open. Randall's missing, and you've got this mess on your floor.
Okay. Seeing that the pills were pretty much chewed up and Randall missing, she kind of thinks back about what happened to her when she blacked out and what they described. So she's gonna go into her room, put on some sweatpants, get like a heavier jacket, tie up a scarf, ready for war, and go outside. Shut the door back. She doesn't lock it, and she's gonna go looking for Randall just in case something's wrong. And she'll probably circle the block a few times, try not to go so far, and thinking, okay, she's gonna give it like another 30 minutes of looking around, like go the next block over, come back, possibly call the police. But then she's like, they might not believe this and may think it's drug related, which it is. She's not gonna call the police.
Not wrong.
Yeah. So never mind that. She's not going to call the police. She's going to kind of search around and then try to figure out what time it is. She's like, all right, no one's probably up. Randall's missing. The pill's been eaten. My jacket's ruined. It's just a bad night. So that's what she's doing.
So as you kind of, I think we're cross-cut montage, right? We cut to you walking around the block, kind of looking around for Randall. We cut back to Randall slowly, getting to the suburbs and then, working his way, towards Midtown, Allentown. And just as you kind of give up and maybe are heading upstairs to call somebody, is you're unlocking the door that leads back up to your apartment, but you're still outside. Randall, you turn the corner, you can see her on kind of the brownstone steps as she's unlocking the door to the building where her apartment is.
I immediately once I noticed that's her there, kind of on the stoop or on the stairway. Lucy, and just start running straight at her.
She's gonna turn around like, Randall, like right at him. Are you okay?
Yeah, Randall, seeing that she is okay, has a moment to kind of reflect and figure out what the hell's going on, and embraces Lucy. I don't think they've ever
Like
touched or whatever, but just was like, glad you're safe. What the hell's going on? And kind of lets that emotion hit. I imagine Randall with his history and being in the military, he's able to compartmentalize and not think of things. But this was so real, so recent that it just he wasn't able to hold it back and just embraces her.
So kind of the adrenaline that you've been running on, Randall, is finally letting go. And we're going to cut away from that, the kind of the scene where she's safe, she knows you're safe, and we're going to flip back about an hour to you jumping from the train tracks on the train and tumbling through. There's two things we need to do. One, I'm going to need an athletics check from you. Right now you have let's see, you've got it 2 in athletics. For those of you that are not familiar with Fear itself, it's a gumshoe system. What Nick's going to do is he's going to roll a d6. And if on a 4, 5, or 6, he's good. On a 1, 2, or 3, he fails. But he has 2 points in athletics, which he can spend. And each point he spends adds a +1 to his athletics. So if he spends 1 now and leaves himself with 1 athletics, he would succeed instead of on a 4, 5, 6, he would succeed on a 3, 4, 5, 6. So, Nick, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm going to spend 1 point.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's important here.
So go ahead and give yourself a +1 on the roll.
+1, 1d6.
So you're not going to get any injury from this. Do you have a sense of why?
I'm going to say dumb luck. I'm going to say that he's got a guardian, a protector over him. That at least he feels that someone is watching out for him because he seems to be on the right side of luck ever since he started getting his karma back.
Yeah, and I think as the adrenaline kind of comes off an hour later, your ribs are maybe a little sore for where you hit the ground, but nothing substantial. We then cut to you running, and you're not even at the suburbs yet, and you're trying to piece together in your head everything. Is Lisa dead? Or is Lucy dead? Why, how did I get it? Did somebody drop me off here? Like, you're going through that. So we're going to also need a stability test. Same situation. Right now, you are at 6 of your 10 stability. On a 4 or greater, you're successful, but you can spend a point. And what Nick doesn't know is how much stability this will cost if he fails.
Well, I know how I rolled last night, so I'm going to spend 2 stability.
Okay.
So that puts me down to 4. And +2 d6. Come on. Is that enough? So that's a 4 + 2, right? So it's a total of 6.
Roll the 6. Yep. So what? How do you make sense of this?
I think the most logical is exactly what we saw in Lucy at the research abandoned facility when she the Lucy we knew blacked out, but we saw something different. And that's all I can think of is that I might have been in that same state. Yeah.
So then we cut back to the two of you entering Lucy's apartment. What do we want to do now? It's about 5:30 in the morning.
Lucy's gonna say once they get in the apartment, so I think we left some pills. Well, not think. I know we left some pills in my jacket, and she kind of like spreads her hands out, like, and this is what happened. So I think the same thing that happened to me happened to you, and maybe we are withdrawing from the pills because we haven't taken them, or at least I haven't in about 2 days.
Yeah. Randall responds, and I imagine Lucy sees. I maybe wiped the dust off of one side, but maybe not the other, and maybe she sees that, and I kind of say, I think I chewed a ton of these last night. I don't know what in the world's going on. Something's happening. I immediately grabbed the Lucy. You said those pills were in your hand, right? Or
Yeah.
So
she would have motioned them on the ground.
Okay. Randall's going to immediately pick them up and go straight to the toilet and just start dumping them in. Whatever pills we have available, emptying pockets, finding, popping caps, throw them in there, and trying to get rid of all.
And And testing.
All right, how about now, guys?
You hear us now? Okay, good.
Okay, awesome.
All right,
Yeah.
beautiful. Okay, great. Yeah, what Nick was asking me is, I asked him if Randall went back to sleep, and he asked me, did he sleep at all last night? So you did sleep maybe for like 2 or 3 hours. It was not restful. So you're pretty exhausted.
All right. Yeah, he's definitely gonna lay down on the couch and just, if not sleep, just relax for a minute and collect his thoughts.
What are your sources of stability?
Um, it's really helping others out, uh, ensuring safety, providing a service to somebody in need.
All right, so let's take kind of the act of your immediately only thing that you even cared about was getting back to Lucy, and you did, and she's safe. So let's go ahead and put you up one more stability. So let's put you at 5, and then I'm going to leave your athletics at 1, but we can put your sense trouble back up to 4, and let's take your medicine back up to 2, and your reassurance back up to 1. Okay.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, so now we're going to cut to kind of everybody waking up this morning. Everybody's in their own place except Randall and Lucy are at her apartment. I think for today, the two big things that were quote unquote scheduled, not meaning like you were going to do anything about it, but the two things are at 9 a.m. is the arraignment of our friend who's been charged with the murder of Austin. And then at 11 o'clock is the funeral, Austin's funeral. What are we doing?
Um, Lucy will ask Randall first, how is he feeling? And then, kind of like, are we going to the arraignment at all?
To the arraignment.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think Randall's interested in the arraignment at all. He's more interested in being there for the funeral. Is his top priority for.
Did the four of you have a plan for today? Were you going to meet for breakfast or?
I imagine so. We had a hell of a evening.
Yeah, and
Um,
if not, Lucy will call Arthur and Lisa. I say, hey, I know it's a bit early, but we should all like get breakfast together.
Yeah, Art. By that time, Arthur has some Tchaikovsky Swan Lake or something going on in the background, and he has an egg on the stove, some coffee in the pot, but he plays it off like nothing. And he says, I've been starving. I would love to meet you at the diner, Gal's Diner, down on 37th Street."
So yes, so Lucia's Diner is definitely
Lucia's Diner. I like that.
the place to go. So let's go ahead and let's smash cut there. So let's smash cut to the four of you Well, no, I lied. The three of you sitting at the diner, uh, each of you have your coffee you've ordered, and then of course, crashing through the door dramatically, we see Lisa come in.
Because she literally rolled off of her couch and dragged herself over to answer that phone. She was not awake. I'm alive.
Hey.
I just imagine Randall just having his hands on his head, just leaning straight down, just thinking about still what happened the night before, and still exhausted from minimal to no sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't look so good.
Yeah, it was a long night. Randall, I believe he also blacked out, ate a bunch of pills, and ran into the night.
Yeah, Randall hears that, looks up, and kind of says, "I don't remember a thing. I just woke up and a train was about to hit me. I was outside of town, X amount of miles, and woke up just in time to jump out of the way of this speeding train that was coming through, and got back to Lucy's house 5:30 in the morning."
Yeah.
Well,
I think Arthur, he sees Randall in kind of this state of not disrepair, but clearly he's stressed. I don't know if it would be possible to motion over if we're at a diner to go over and say, "Hey, we'll grab the first round of coffee." And he looks at Randall and he goes, "I might need an extra pair of hands to grab these coffees. So do you want to come over to the counter with me?" Motions over if he's interested in helping.
I
It should be
Yeah.
back.
All right, we should be back. Okay, good.
Good.
All right, cool. So you said you were going to reassure him.
Yeah, try. So he notices probably frayed hair, bloodshot eyes, or something from lack of sleep, and he's interested in picking his brain a little bit and trying to just give him comfort to know that he's there for him.
You want to get your shrink on?
I would love to, because I think our buddy is struggling with the stability.
All right.
Yeah.
So same thing. You've got 10 in shrink. A 4, 5, or 6 is successful, and that'll restore 1 or 2 stability.
Yeah, I'll burn. I'm gonna burn 2 shrink.
Okay, that'll bring you down to 8, so you'll be at +2 on your roll.
There we go.
That's a good thing you did. You ended up with a 4. All right, so that's going to restore 1 stability to Randall. So Randall, that's going to put you back up to stability 6 at this point. The conversation that you're having, we're not going to do the entire conversation, Cody, but thematically, what are you doing to kind of let Randall, settle down a little bit? And
Yeah, I think we're not necessarily reminiscing, but talking about kind of old memories that we have with Austin and how stressful it might be, and like these episodes, like things of this nature, it's common to have some like episodes just to keep his head up, and like all of us are there for him. And I imagine the coffee comes up.
Yeah. So you bring the coffee back. The 4 of you sit down. Lisa has got her order in. The food arrives. I think the question I have is this a quiet breakfast where everybody's kind of in their own head, or are we going to have some conversations that need to happen?
I think Randall wants to ask everybody else about blackouts if they've experienced them on their own. So I imagine breakfast comes and he kind of looks up at Arthur and Lisa. I imagine Lucy and I are on the same side of the booth, right? We kind of
Yeah.
showed up together. But uh, Arthur, Lisa, have you experienced any blackouts or anything strange that might help us figure out what's going on to Lucy and I?
Go for it. We keep taking breath.
Not to my knowledge. There's been some headaches, but I mean, given that you guys don't remember when you blacked out, even if it had happened with no one else around, I don't know that I would have noticed.
Yeah, Arthur just says I haven't realized nothing's occurred, but medicine affects everyone differently, and traumatic times can cause very strange things for the brain.
Lucy wants to ask, have you guys been still taking your pills?
Not since Nurse Sarah quit, no.
So that would make today your first day not taking your pill, then, right?
Yes.
Because that happened yesterday. Okay. Arthur?
Yeah, he has.
Lucy will say this is like the second day I haven't taken because I normally take it at night. And maybe that's why I start blacking out, but I don't know.
I don't know, Lucy. You were having the visions before that.
Good point. Very good point.
All right. So we eat breakfast. Where are we headed next?
Lucy kind of want to go to the arraignment
Yeah. What time is it?
at 9.
Yeah, thinking. The arraignment's at 9. I'm thinking right now you're 7:30ish. I'm thinking. So yeah, you're about an hour and a half.
Like, Lisa's also interested in going to the arraignment, so
I think I would be Arthur would definitely have travel with the group, but he definitely has questions for Lisa when we're en route.
Sure. Randall, you had no interest. Do you still want to go with now that the three of them are going to go?
If they express any interest in me going, I'll go, but not gonna jump up and offer to go.
Okay. So are we pressuring Randall to go? Or are you okay with Randall going back to his place and maybe getting a couple hours sleep?
I mean, if he's not interested, he's not interested. It's fine.
So let's cut to the station wagon. And the three of you are in the station wagon. Lisa's driving. Who's got shotgun, Arthur or Lucy?
I'll be in back.
Lucy.
Lucy's shotgun. Arthur, you're in the back. And what did you want to talk to Lisa about?
Yeah, he's got that pigeon that we found.
Yes, the pigeon.
Yeah, and he's been racking his brain around that, and he's kind of poses the question. He goes, "Lisa, I'm sure you were looking at these files all night.
Mm-hmm.
Did the name Eric Teller come up?" And he's like fumbling with this pigeon, trying to just doesn't make sense that this thing was in Austin's house because he's never heard that name before.
Did the name Eric Teller come up? No? Nope, not at all.
He lets out like a big sigh and puts the pigeon aside. And I don't know if you could see his notebook, in every single page that he's writing notes in has the name Eric Teller written on the top
Lucy,
right.
Lucy will say, I think there's a lot about Austin we didn't know.
For sure. Yeah.
He would have told me something of this nature. He's
Like his dementia.
Like the
He
fact
does.
that he was like the fact that he was in the first and probably second test group.
He lets out a sigh. He looks down at his notebook, and I don't think he's offended or anything. I think he's using their logic to rationalize. He's like trying to rationalize things.
And the fact that he has no one we can find or contact that he's passed, it's
Like
weird.
if you'd like, I can dig into this Eric Teller guy, see if I can find anything. But there wasn't anything in the files.
All he says, kind of like with his ending statement, is just tossing the pigeon around, and I just don't know why he would hold on to this thing. It's hideous. Look at his other creations. They had to have some sort of sentimental value.
Maybe because no one else ever tried to, I don't know, stuff a dead animal unlike him. Yes, taxidermy. That's what it's called.
It is a morbid art, but it is an art. he puts it along the side of the car.
You're taking that out of my car once we're done. You're not leaving that here.
Puts it in the messenger bag.
I don't want a haunted bird in my car.
Which is like, because it's haunted.
Exactly, it's haunted.
So let's cut to the courthouse. The three of you, we see you walking up the steps, walking in. You look on the directory, which room it's going to be held in, and you get there. And when you get there, it's a bit of a carousel happening. It's, this case in front of the judge, guilty, not guilty, blah, blah, blah. And then case XYZ, Terrence Bolt, first degree murder. And you see Terrence Bolt. It's the first time you've seen him, I believe. Come. He's shackled at the hands and at the feet. He's in his orange jumpsuit. You can tell by the disheveled nature of the lawyer is court appointed. If you'd be shocked if the lawyer was 18. Like he has to be 18 if he's a lawyer. Probably he's 26, 27 years old, but he looks like a kid. The judge says, Terrence Bolt, case XYZ. I've got you for first degree murder of Austin Spence. How do you plead? The lawyer just stands up and he grabs his notebook and he's flipping through pages. And is this on? Yeah. Your Honor. We plead. We plead not guilty. And judge goes, okay. Prosecutor says, wait a minute. Yesterday you said you guys were going to plead guilty and we were going to do a plea agreement. The defense lawyer goes, my client, we're not guilty by reason of insanity. He doesn't recollect doing this. He's never met the deceased, and he keeps looking at Terrence as like for confirmation, like they may have talked about this 5 minutes ago, right? And we'll have expert witnesses that shows that Mr. Bolt was not of sound mind, and was not control, and it was not guilty by insanity, Your Honor. The judge is already super annoyed. Hits the gavel. Fine, not guilty. You guys will figure out the court date. And they move to the next person. It's about 9:30.
Is there silly question? Is there any way we can talk to Terrence Bolt?
I don't know. Is there?
My guy's fucked.
Oh yeah. He's getting life.
Yeah. Electric chair. Um,
Anyone have bureaucracy or cop talk? Maybe I don't know if cop talk would work, but
I could see if I could get an interview.
Okay.
All right, where do we want to cut to, Lucy? Or Lisa, I'm sorry. I keep
Oh,
doing that.
I was going to say, I got this.
Sorry.
I mean, I suppose I would speak to his lawyer about the possibility of an interview, correct? Yes.
Sure. So let's cut to him. You find him. He's got file cases and he's got like clipboards and his hands are full. And you see him kind of walking down the hallway, and you catch him.
is there any way I could tag along with Lisa?
Sure.
Yeah.
Due to the, I think Arthur would be interested in the insanity plea here.
We can have all three of you there, unless Lisa does not want that.
Yeah, it's up to you.
I mean, if you guys want to come,
Don't get in my way.
like psychology expert and
Intern.
intern. Yeah. There we go. Perfect.
So his hands are full. He's walking, and you guys are kind of blocking his way. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
I'll offer to help him.
No, these are my client files. No. I'm okay. Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
I
thank you.
understand. I would like to speak to you about one of your clients and potentially doing an interview.
Who are you?
Hi, I'm Lisa Huntington. I'm a journalist.
So he kind of gives his elbow to kind of like try to be polite.
Just like
yeah,
bump
kinda,
elbows.
Yeah, exactly. And you, I'm sorry, you're Lisa. Who are you with?
Oh, I'm freelance, so I'm not actually with a specific publication.
And why do you want to talk? I'm sorry, which client?
Terrence Bolt.
Terrence Bolt. Oh,
First degree, Austin
yeah.
Spence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Terrence Bolt. Yeah.
Yes.
Terrence Bolt. I don't know if that's in my client's best interest for him to be talking to the press. I appreciate it. I guess I don't.
I would really like a chance to speak with him and get his side of the story, since no one's really heard it. All we've heard is from the police.
Do you think like yesterday, like he kind of looks around to make sure. He goes, "There's a lot of evidence. Like they've got his fingerprints. They've got that old man's blood all over his clothes. I mean, and I had worked out the plea deal and everything. And then this morning, he says to me, that like he was not guilty. He didn't do it, or he didn't know he was doing it. And
I see.
So
I've heard.
I
Is
don't
he
understand
saying?
how are you going to help? I don't understand.
I have a question. Is he saying he blacked out and doesn't remember?
That's what he said. He said that he has no recollection of it, that he just woke up in his apartment.
This is very familiar to me.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of this happening.
All right. So, what are we thinking here, role wise? You may not need a roll. I'm wondering if it is. I'm thinking maybe reassurance. I'd be good with maybe a point in reassurance, giving him the kind of the feeling that you could help with the case.
I don't have reassurance. I do have negotiation.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to do negotiation?
Yeah.
All right, so let's spend a point in your negotiation. So for those of you watching, you have general skills, which we roll for, but we also have investigative skills. And this one's an interpersonal one. It's negotiation. She has a point in it. She has the ability to use her skills in negotiation to get one level of information, right? So I think the fact that she's got this abilities allowed this lawyer to have any level of conversation about a private, client privilege type stuff already with her. But by spending a point, I'm going to allow her to push that to, he's going to allow Lisa to actually speak to Terrence Bolt. So can we just get, you don't have to go role play it, but how are we using negotiation to convince this lawyer?
Um, I guess if I can get this interview, I can attempt to spin this in such a way that he doesn't look like that he looks more
Insane.
relatable.
Okay. Okay. So he does ask you as you're kind of having this discussion back and forth, and he's still kind of reluctant, but you're getting close, and he goes, um, I- I- I've got two other cases. I've got a Grand Theft Auto, and I've got a larceny case. Do you think that maybe you could do a profile? I mean, maybe talk to them at some point. I think that's like 2 days from now, maybe. And if you can help me with those two cases, then maybe I can let you talk to Bolt.
Um, yeah, I think I could do that.
Okay. All right. Follow me. So he goes to the desk and tells the cop behind the desk, goes, I need to speak to my client, Terrence Bolt. He takes you, the four of you, the lawyer and the three of you, takes you to a room, steel metal table. There's metal chairs. There's a metal chair behind a desk. The desk is bolted down. The metal chair is bolted down. There's a ring on the chair. And Terrence Bolt, who maybe 22 years old, has not taken care of himself or has led a pretty rough life. Easily 10, 15 pounds underweight, like shoulders hunched forward, very sullen. They kind of bring him in, they handcuff him to the rings. The lawyer goes, so Terrence, I'd like you to meet Lisa and her friends. They think they know what might be happening with you, and they wanted to talk to you. And guys, I've got do you mind if I got a ton of stuff.
Sure, go for it. Yeah.
So Terrence is just there. He's got his head down, and he just stares at you.
Hi, Mr. Bolt.
How are you supposed to help me?
I have an idea of what might be happening.
Okay.
So you say you don't recall meeting Austin Spence at all.
I've never seen the man.
Never.
I don't think so.
You don't remember mugging Margaret and him stepping in to...
Look.
No, I'm just asking.
Wait a minute. That's the same old dude?
Yes.
Oh shit. I am fucked.
It sure looks that way. Can I ask you, had you been taking any medications?
So he kind of looks around, and he's really focused on the two-way mirror, and he's just like, so let's just say theoretically, right? Let's just say that I took the old lady's purse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say like she had some money in there, and let's just say she had some pills, and I mean,
And let's just say you took some of them?
yeah, maybe like theoretically, maybe took a couple, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Theoretically, right? I don't even know if I know.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and theoretically, one of the side effects of those pills might be blackouts.
Oh shit.
And aggressive behavior.
And not remembering.
Oh, that's
theoretically, of course.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Can you tell my lawyer like that's big? Like, yeah, that could help me a ton. So yeah, all right. So I mugged the lady, right? I did. I mugged her. I don't remember. I remember the old guy. I don't remember even seeing his face. Didn't realize it was like the same guy or nothing. And yeah, I mean, I took the pills, and if the pills are what did it, man, like, maybe that's why I like that I did it because I don't remember going to the old man's house. I mean, I've never killed nobody.
We back when we learned about Terrence, we looked at his criminal record, right?
It
And it
was
was
all
mostly petty.
petty shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd mugged a couple people, stolen, shoplifting and shit like that.
Okay.
No gang affiliations, just nothing.
Nothing like violent.
Nah, he's just
Petty.
a shit kid making shit decisions
Okay.
after getting shit on by the world.
Okay. Um would you I'm gonna motion to Archer and say, would you mind telling him like your experience with the blackout, like what it was like?
So, so I thought so I get home, right, and I empty out the lady's purse, and I take a couple of pills, maybe taking the cash, and maybe got some juice and got a little high, and passed out on my
Oh,
couch.
so you mixed the pills with
Yeah.
other drugs?
So I got a little problem. Yeah.
No,
and-
I'm just looking to clarify. I'm not.
yeah,
I'm.
and say what it is, but he kind of pulls his arm up, and you see the track marks, right?
I see.
Yeah, I struggle. So and I got some money, and that's what I do when I get the money, And so it was good shit because, man, I mean, I just went out, and then yeah, God, it must have been like, I don't know, like middle of the night or something. It was dark out, like not when I went to sleep. It was bright day when I went to sleep, and then the next thing I know, I wake up and it's night out, and I got blood all over me, and all over my hands and everything, and God, that's I think about it, man. Like, yeah, yeah, and like it'd been like 5 hours, so.
5 hours.
I think so. It's hard for me to know. I mean, I was pretty high.
I'm wondering if, and this might not be possible, if via like social sciences or science, if Arthur would have the ability to kind of systematically backtrack with him, even though he wasn't in the right state of mind, but by leading him into, because we know where he was,
Right.
we know what happened. If there isn't a chance that he can lead him into maybe hints of what might have happened.
So he no point Spencer needed. Like he doesn't freaking know. Like what he's telling you is like he got high and he passed out, which sometimes happens when he does a good bit of juice, and he's not, yeah. And I don't know. I guess I'm trying to see. Neither of you have bullshit detector, so
Yeah.
as far as you're concerned, he's telling the truth. And he's definitely, like, his demeanor's changed. You can tell that, Arthur. He came from very sullen to, intentionally or not, you three are giving him like the first shred of hope he's probably had through all of this.
Yeah, I think Arthur would just to make sure he questions. Were that box that you got from the old lady? Do you remember the color of the box?
Yeah, it was a white box, and I mean, I can tell you, I had it, like, I took the pills, and I had 3 left, right? And I was gonna save them, so I put them in my back pocket, and man, I don't know where that box is. Like, I haven't been able to find it because, like, I was looking for it and had a really bad headache, when I woke up, and thought maybe the pills would help. So I was looking for the pills, and I couldn't find the pills. I had them in my pocket, so
He's flipping through his notes, and he's reading the fact that there's a blue gold box in the hedges in front, and his facial expression might not change, but he's just saying, interesting. Yes. So you took, just to be clear, you took these pills as soon as you got them. You went home. You
Man, it's kind of foggy. I'm not gonna lie to you. So yeah, I went home, was super stoked because the old lady had like $150, right? And
Yeah.
so I got the cash. I don't think I took the pills before I went and scored. I think I went and scored, from Jimmy Street, over on the corner, um, and then I came back. I think I took the pills before I shot up. I think.
Mm,
I don't know. I may have
yeah.
taken the pills before that. I don't know, man.
Yeah. I did completely understandable. Um, he's all he's doing is writing this down. I don't think that there's anything more that he can really. He's not gonna psychoanalyze him. It's not
Yeah.
he's not being paid for it, so he's
Okay. Well, and
he's
time wise, we're looking a little close to 10:30. I do want to
right.
smash cut, and maybe it's a montage, Randall. You do you go back to the house while this is all happening? What are you doing while all this is happening?
No, I Randall's still trying to collect his thoughts, and I think he goes for a walk. Uh, and one of the few places he knows is nearby. I imagine would be the Blue Gold meeting spot that we went to every month, just to check it out,
Is that lodge? Yeah.
see if there's any movement, see if there's anything new, different than before. Um,
No, it's locked up. The You do notice like they had the Blue Gold Research Inquire Within sign that was there on the window. That's gone. But all the other stuff for the lodge, the fish fry, and all that stuff are still up there. Doors locked, but that's not uncommon for this early in the morning. Usually the
Gotcha,
lodge, it doesn't open every day, and when it's open, it's usually in the evening for meetings.
gotcha. Is the courthouse in walking distance? And I say walking distance, a matter of maybe half hour stroll
Sure.
through
Yep.
town. I imagine he would make an appearance, not as part of the group, but on his own, while still thinking about the events that have happened thus far. Just kind of heading that direction. That seems to be where his friends are, and he wants to rejoin them. So he's kind of going that direction, while also thinking about this black sedan that keep popping up, and keeping an eye out, kind of sensing if there's anything out of the ordinary. Uh, and then heading to the courthouse.
So through all of this montage, at no point do we see a black sedan. And if it's all right with everybody, I'm going to cut to you walking to the courthouse. You see the station wagon parked. You start going up the steps, and just as you're about halfway up the steps, is when the other three step outside.
Uh, Randall
Randall.
sees the group. Yeah, hey guys. Yeah, Randall sees the group and kind of nods. And how'd the arraignment go?
Let's let's hit to yeah,
We can tell you on the way to.
to
Yeah,
Austin's.
So four of you hop in the car. Obviously, you fill Randall in completely. He gets everything, and it was posted in the newspaper, so you know exactly where the funeral home is. You pull up to it, and it's pretty run down. It's not a nice funeral home. You pull up. There's a very heavy set man that greets you when you walk in. And he'll go, "Can I help you? We're not doing appointments right now.
Oh,
If you have a deceased, I'd be happy to talk to you later on this afternoon. I take appointments at 4.
oh no,
Oh,
we're here
no.
for Austin's. What,
Oh, you're here for the viewing?
Austin
yeah.
Spence. Yes.
Oh, okay. Miss Hawkwood said no, she didn't expect nobody to come, but yeah. I mean, are you family or?
The closest thing to family he has.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, hold on a second. And he goes to kind of like the side table, and there's little mimeograph little things in memory of Austin Spence, and a younger picture of him is on it. And hands you each one of them, and they're doing the viewing right at the end of the hall down there. And here's my business card. If at any point you need any services or anything, happy to help. And I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Randall nods, goes and signs the book. Um, is there any names worth noting?
So there's an Amelia Hawkwood um, listed there, and then uh, two other names are Robert Hawkwood and Susanna Hawkwood under it. All three are in the same handwriting, though. So
All right.
somebody signed all three people in. When you guys get back to the viewing, the coffin is closed. It's closed. It's closed viewing. There's a older woman. You would guess maybe maybe even late 70s, sitting there. There's two younger people, a younger man, a younger woman, or closer to like your age, Lisa, right? You and Randall's age, sitting there. The woman's all in black, and they're just kind of sitting there. And the older woman stands up and she says, did you know? Did you know Ozzy?"
Uh,
Yes. Sorry, the Aussie like kind of took Lucy off. Wow.
"Oh, well, it's nice of you to come." And she sits back down.
I think Randall is going to just kind of mosey on. I imagine there's benches kind of in rows, like pews or whatever. He's going to sit kind of right there behind them and just wait patiently for the right time to introduce himself.
Yeah, it's super uncomfortable silence, right? So there's chairs and this older lady and these two other people that are sitting with her. They're not really talking to each other. They might kind of lean over and whisper and talk a little bit, and nod and stuff like that. They're obviously close. In fact, you see a familiar resemblance in the three of them. So best guess maybe an aunt and cousins, or nieces and nephews, maybe even a mom and two kids. But yeah, not a whole lot happening unless one of you do something.
Lucy's gonna say, "Excuse me. Hi, I'm Lucy Jones.
Yeah, Amelia Harwood. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I knew Randall through a research study that we were a part of. Can I ask how did you? Sorry, not Randall. Austin.
Well,
Austin.
you love killing everybody off.
I know. I am so sorry.
every time Lucy
Sorry.
talks, the GM writes down another name.
Austin.
Uh, he was my younger brother. We haven't talked in 20, 30 years, 40 years, 40 years. But yeah, a detective called me. We drove down. Drove down, and I mean, he's still my brother. I'm glad. It makes me happy that he had friends. He only ever talked about is one friend, Eric. Is that Eric? And points at Randall.
No, that's Randall.
Oh, okay.
So
Randall.
Is Eric coming? It's the only one that I mean. In the few letters I got, that's it. He only ever mentioned is Eric. And I don't know. Felt like I should meet him, I guess. But it's good to know he had more than one friend.
Yeah, Randall extends his hand out and hoping for the gesture back and grabs her hand elegantly and says, "My name's Randall. I've known your brother for a few years and helped him build up his taxidermy museum. I imagine that's not a family business. Just trying to get a little bit of a smile out of her."
Well, as you're saying this, she goes, was he happy?
I truly believe so. The five of us were pretty close over the last couple years. So we
You,
care deeply for him.
you could kind of feel her get a little emotional as you're saying that. Kind of a little bit of regret and joy in her face, and definitely it reassures her to know that you can, and anybody can see that on her face. Um, Lisa, where are you during all of this?
I'm just kind of hanging with the group, just slightly behind Lucy and Randall.
And how about you, Arthur?
Uh, yeah, he would have he pulls out the pigeon and it has Eric Teller's name on it, right? Um, and he looks at them and he's getting sort of emotional. He says, "Well, I would love for we found this last time we were at his house."
Oh my God, what is that?
He shows he shows
So
he shows the name tag and he says it must have been near and dear to
Yeah, no, I
us.
appreciate the gesture. But no, you know, I'm sure, I'm
He-
sure,
he's
I'm sure Ozzy would want you to have that.
he's motioning over to like the whatever sort of funeral arrangement is there, and he goes. He puts it in his bag
God.
with kind of like a note to self, like, okay, don't try to extend an olive branch ever again.
So
don't use taxidermy to try to connect.
what I'm envisioning as far as kind of where we are is we've got Ozzy in the casket, and we've got her two kids are there, her two adult children. She's standing there and she's talking to Lucy, she's talking to Randall, she's talking to Arthur, and then of course Lisa, you're behind, kind of within earshot, right? So you're hearing all of this, but not being really a part of the conversation. God, you feel tired, Lisa. Like all of a sudden, it's like, whew, wow. So you sit down, and maybe a little dizzy, like, but just like I need to sit down. And you do you sit down and like when you're watching TV and like your spouse or your significant other goes, hey, go up to bed, and you're like, oh, why? And you're like, because you're snoring. And in your mind, you've been watching TV, right? Like you didn't even realize that that's what's happening right now. So Lisa's kind of sat
Oh
down,
no.
and nobody sees this, and Lisa just kind of goes like this, and I don't think anybody notices it, because soon after Lisa stands up, and as you're putting the pigeon away, Lisa, in a very weird thing, kind of almost aggressively kind of pushes Lucy to the side, and kind of pushes and makes way through Lucy and through Arthur, and goes right up to this woman, and you see Lisa taking her hand and putting both hands and kind of clasping her hands and looking her directly in the eye, and Lisa says, "M, I'm sorry I said those things to Dad. I was angry at you, and I'm sorry, and I'm sorry what it did to us." And this woman just like, she pulls her hand back from you, and she's, who the hell are you? What's going on right now? And Lisa kind of falls back, and just in time, Lucy and Arthur are kind of like right there, and you're able to kind of catch her. Lisa, you were sitting down, and now you're kind of half fallen, and they've caught you. This woman's like, look, I think we're gonna close. How do you know
What?
this?
How do I know what?
What?
How do I know what? What?
Lisa,
I
are
was
you okay?
over on the bench. Sorry.
What the hell's going on right now? Like, did Ozzy tell you something? Like, how did you know that?
Can I try and reassure the woman?
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, what do
by
you have in reassure?
I have one.
Okay. Did you want to spend the one or just use it at its base level?
I'll spend it.
Okay. So Arthur, I'm going to drop you down to 0. Go for it.
All right. So I'm at just a regular D6, right? Or D6
There's no
plus
roll.
one.
This is an investigative. You succeed.
Oh,
You
okay.
still have a point.
Perfect. So he looks at her and he kind of passes Lisa as she gains her footing to Lucy, and puts his arm around her and says, "Ma'am, what?"
No, don't touch me. Look, I don't know. I don't know what he told you. I don't know how you know this.
What he spoke very highly of you. He mentioned you so much, and
There's only one person ever called me M, and it was Ozzy. And having her talk like that, and the way she talked, and calling me M, and oh my God, like I gotta go. You need to leave. You need to leave. All of you just need to leave.
We'll go.
And,
Bro.
And the son steps up and kind of makes a physical presence. He's not being aggressive, but he's giving I am controlling this physical space right now, right? And so he's kind of backing his mother up at this point, kind of physically kind of getting between his mother and you. And I think all of you should leave.
Yeah. Sorry for the disturbance. I'm going to kind of help Lisa out.
did we got her name? I know it was Hockenwood.
Amelia?
Amelia. Yeah.
Amelia.
Yeah.
Okay. M. Okay.
And then it was Robert and Susanna were the other.
Yeah, and she introduced herself as Amelia.
Okay. Perfect.
Or as M, apparently, as Lisa calls her.
I got ghosts in my blood. It's fine.
Yeah. Arthur is instinctively just apologizing, trying to de-escalate the situation as much as he can.
The son's like,
just
Lucy's going to be like, come on, let's go.
Randall?
Yeah. I imagine Randall's at the end of the booth or whatever, getting out with everybody, and he looks over at I presume Robert, and recognizes the physical presence and respects it. It says, "My apologies, Hawkwood family. We loved Austin as a brother, and he will be missed." And just walks, doesn't look for a reaction, nothing, just walks away.
So as you guys are kind of like turning as a group, right, and kind of start to leave the room, you didn't hear him come in, but there's this guy in a black hoodie that wasn't there when you came in, so he must have come in at some point. And as soon as you guys kind of turn, he turns and just sees you turning. He turns and he's leaving. So he goes through the door and he's headed into the hallway.
Do we notice that he's acting suspicious, or
Yeah.
to where
It's pretty obvious that you turning around and like seeing him caused him. He just kind of puts his head down with the hoodie and just kind of leaves. And he's not trying to be super obvious about it, but he's also not really good at this.
Randall recognizes that and
Go get him.
navigates through the group and beelines it straight for that hoodie.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's do an opposed roll here. I'm going to have you roll athletics. You want to spend any points?
Yeah, I'll spend a point.
All right, so it's going to bring you down to 0. I'm going to first roll for our friend. All right, and then you're gonna roll as well at a +1. So you head into the hallway, and this guy's fast. He kind of navigates through the hall. He takes a hard right. So the front door is there, right? It's a straight hallway down to leave the place. He takes a hard right, and you kind of pick up speed, but you also, there's people kind of filing around, and you're kind of working your way, and you don't want to be the guy running through the funeral home, right? So you kind of work, and you turn the corner, and you see the side door closing, and you rush down the side door and you pop it open and you look out and it's just alleyway. There's a dead end at one end. You look to your left, you see it leads right to the street, and you're like, shit.
I'm sure I've got a. Damn. I don't really have anything to use. Would you allow a streetwise roll to see if I can determine maybe if anything on the street looks disturbed that I could tell what direction he might have gone?
You definitely can use Streetwise to start talking to people. Did you see a guy in a black hoodie? Yeah, definitely.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I'll use streetwise.
And do you want to spend any points on it?
Yeah, I'll spend my point in it. So I'm done.
All right. Let's see. Where are you? All right. You got 1 point in it. That takes you to 0 points. Let's give it a roll at a +1.
Oh, isn't this an investigative skill? Would I still have
Oh,
to
shit.
roll?
That's right. Yeah, you just spend the point. So,
Okay.
thank you. Yeah, it's not a general.
Any chance to not roll, I'm happy to do it. I'll fight for that one.
The dice are evil.
Jesus.
Yeah. So you come out the corner. You don't see anything. Kind of like random dude on the corner. Immediately, you're able to kind of connect. You talk. You say, "Hey, did you see him?" He goes, "Yeah, he went down that way." So you follow that, and just you're able to talk. You know who to talk to, right? You know which questions to ask, who to bother. Next thing you know, you go, and the guy goes, "Yeah, I just went into that bodega over there," pointing across the street.
Is the group out of the door with me?
I don't. You were definitely ahead of them. What they're doing during this, I don't know.
I'm gonna continue to run straight for that door to the bodega, and prior to opening that door, I'm gonna look behind to see if they're out front.
What are
To
the three of
notice
you
me
doing?
and-
Randall takes off. You know why he took off. What are you guys doing?
I would have made sure we got Lisa at least outside, then take off in the direction that Randall took off in.
Lisa,
Yeah,
Arthur?
I don't think I would be able to necessarily keep up if we're full on sprinting after this guy, but he's trying his best to keep on the tail of the group.
Lisa?
I'm gonna get my car.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
Nice, nice.
And Lucy takes off.
Lisa takes off. Arthur's like going at half speed, and he pulls the keys out of her purse and gets in the car. That's great. So we cut to you. Ding, ding. The bell on the bodega opens up, and typical Midtown bodega, right? There's just everywhere you could have something for sale. There is something for sale. There's a guy behind the counter, and the top of the counter, the cigarette rack is right here at his head. And you look down, and at the far end, pulling out, and he's getting himself a Coke. You can see the black hoodie. The guy in the black hoodie taking a Coke out of the freezer, out of the fridge.
Does he notice me?
He does not. He's got his back to you.
I'm gonna try to blend in.
It's just the three of you. It's the attendant,
Oh,
you, and our friend.
I'm gonna run up on this guy.
Okay.
You're going to
Sucker
jail
punch.
tonight.
YOLO. Why not?
All right. So what does that look like? What's happening?
He notices that he's not noticed, or that he's not seen me yet, and maybe I take a kind of get a little bit of cover, go around the side.
Well, yeah. There's two main aisles that go to the back, and where he is, if you go down that aisle, even the guy at the counter is not going to see this.
Yeah, so I'll go down the other aisle, run up, and first opportunity to jump into that aisle, and I'm gonna grab him by the shoulders and see how he responds.
So you grab him by the shoulders and you kind of whip him around, and he's got the Coke in his hand, and he's like stunned, just absolutely stunned. And you see under the hoodie, you guess early to mid 30s guy, clean shaven, not long hair, but uncut longer hair. Probably could use a haircut, especially for a military guy like you. He's like, hey, cut your hair, you hippie. He's like, Jesus, and he drops the Coke. He goes, look, I don't want any trouble.
Why'd you run when we turned around?
He goes, calling you? He's kind of looking,
Mm,
and he goes, "Who are you?"
Randall responds, I'm a concerned citizen. I was not followed. I am part of a small group of trusted individuals, but who are you?
Look. None of this is my business. So I just wanted to give my respects to Austin. I didn't want to get in anybody's way. I'm not part of the family or anything. And I saw you there, and you guys turn around, and like, I didn't want any trouble. I wasn't saying anything to anybody. I wasn't doing anything.
Randall's going to loosen up once he hears that.
Yeah, this guy's scared to death of you.
Good. We're going to use that, Craig. We're going to use that. Still holding him. How did you know Austin?
I mean, I was just, I guess I was his doctor. He was in this. He was in the study. Yeah. I got Dr. Michael Jones.
Lucy's brother.
Good good to meet you. Let's fade to black. Let's go to break. We'll be right back. We'll be back in 10. So he puts his hand out to you, Randall. He introduces himself as Dr. Michael Jones. And for those watching that maybe not remember, I'm not sure when you watched episode 1 and 2, this is the person that they saw on a form that was found at the Blue Gold warehouse. And based off of the paperwork that they saw, this person may have been the equivalent of Nurse Sarah and may have been in charge of this group 1 that they suspect exists. So he puts his hand out to you, Randall.
Randall takes his hand off his jacket or sweater, his hoodie, and goes, "Doctor, we actually know a little bit about you. We were looking for you.
Why are you looking for me?" Draws his hand back. Why are you looking for me? Lucy, you're now coming into the bodega.
Randall kind of immediately tries to settle him a little bit and says, "It's not what you think. We're concerned. What happened to Austin?
Do you work for Blue Gold?
No, we do not."
Who's she?
Who are you?
And
So he's getting nervous now. Like people are
he's getting
walking
nervous.
in.
Wait.
Randall stops and says, "No, first off, my name's Randall. I'm part of test group 3.
Oh Jesus!
It gets worse. There's several of us that are having some issues, and we saw your name on some documents, and we're trying to get to the bottom of this. Please take a second to talk with us."
I have nothing to do with it. I'm not involved. They should have stopped testing the effing drug. And I'm sorry. You need to go to a hospital. You need to talk to a doctor. But I have nothing to do with this.
Wait, I look at Randall. Who is he?
Randall kind of nods and says, "This is Dr. Michael Jones."
Look, guys, I'm sorry, and I'm not responsible for whatever's happening to you. But I recommend you go see go to a doctor. And if you're taking the pills, stop taking the pills.
Wait, can I use my reassurance to try to calm him down?
You sure can. Do you
Okay.
want to use it straight up, or do you want to spend a point on it?
I'll spend a point on it.
All right. So that brings you down to 0. What are we saying?
I'm going to say we only have questions for you, especially if you are the first group's doctor. And we're not with Blue Gold. Our nurse also abandoned us, so we need at least some answers that we can possibly get.
How many are you?
It's four of us. 2 more is coming too.
So the station wagon pulls up in front of the bodega about at the same time that old man Archer finally makes it there. Look, 3rd Street, 224, apartment 7. We need to leave separately. Meet me there in 30 minutes. Just knock on the door. You gonna let him leave?
Oh, Archer's coming in,
Okay.
blocking the door. So if anyone wants to stop him, but other than that, Archer's
Guys, I
coming in.
have a car.
So he's trying to go. Just meet me there in 30 minutes, but we should not leave here together.
Randall's going to kind of buck up and insist. "I'm sorry, doctor. We have a car. How about we go to one of our establishments?" Kind of looking at Lucy as if like, is your bar open right now to go? And yeah.
So look,
we have a private place.
I appreciate that, and quite frankly, I don't want to talk to any of you. I don't want to be a part of any of this, and so. But if you want to meet at I just gave you my damn address, for crying out loud. Like, if you want to meet at my place, I'll talk to you a little bit. I can fill you in about group 1 if you want, but I'm not going anywhere with you. And we should not, if we're seen together, that's just going to make things worse.
I will say to try to like keep the peace and calm down. I think we should let him go, Randall. Just kind of looking at their surroundings. Public place.
Yeah. Randall does some calculations and kind of nods and looks at the doctor and says, "Let me see your ID to verify that the address is correct, and I'll meet you there. That's the
Jesus
only way we're
Christ.
doing
So he
this."
pulls his wallet out and he goes, "Look, dude, that's where just meet me here meet me here in 30 minutes. Don't all of you come in at once. Just knock on the door."
No problem.
Oh God, Randall doesn't like how this has gone down this far. Anyway, he grabs the wallet out of his hand and says, "We'll meet you there." Grabs it, assuming that he can take it out of his hand, and
Yeah,
starts
he takes
walking
it,
to
goes,
the car.
Fine. Meet me there in 30 minutes. And
Rude.
he's just kind of he's working his way out. Archer, he's walking up to you. You have no idea what the conversation was up there.
Yeah, definitely get bumped in the shoulder, and Arthur is already. He's on his bad side already.
So he comes out. Lisa, you're closing the door on the thing, and this guy starts heading down the street. He's not running or anything, but he's super super paranoid.
Lucy's gonna buy a bagel since they're there.
Yeah, Randall acknowledges to everybody that was a little too over the top, and kind of nods and says, "I have my reasons. Let's get your bagel and let's go."
All right, so you guys get out to the car. What? Lisa's like, "Where the hell's my bagel?" No.
I want some cheese puffs, guys. God.
So, do we want to do anything before we cut to Dr. Jones?
Yeah, because he just seems so skittish, and I noticed that we have been followed before. I kind of want to use notice to see if anyone's following us,
So,
or if there's anything
yeah,
irregular.
no point. Don't waste a point.
Okay.
So, yeah, but yeah, you're skilled in notice, and you notice nobody, right? So there's nothing suspicious, no sedans. Nobody seems to be following you. The one thing that just to remember is he was now explicit 3 times for you guys to leave separately, and don't come into his apartment together.
Okay.
So I guess I'll see you guys later. This is prime time to listen to the radio.
I don't even have it queued up, so Doug, you're gonna have to get over yourself. I will have it queued. We will play it in episode 4 at everybody's funeral. Doug.
Yeah, exactly.
Funeral sponsored by Lincoln's Lincoln. All right, so each of you separately go into the apartment building, meeting on the fourth floor of the apartments, just as he said, just as it says on his wallet, which Randall has, and we knock.
I'm gonna do sense trouble before I knock. Yeah.
Excellent. And I'm not going to have you waste a point. So nothing. Your cockles don't stand up. Things are okay. I mean, obviously everything's kind of effed up right now. But nothing gives you a sense of danger right now in this apartment building.
Okay. Then Lucy will also volunteer to go in first.
So you knock, and he opens up the door, and he sees the rest of you. Who's she? Points.
Our fourth member.
Okay. And were you followed?
No.
All right, come in.
As Randall walks past him, he has his wallet in hand and lets him take it out of his hand.
Snaps it right out of your hand, puts it in his pocket. You guys walk in. This is a small apartment, and dude's kind of a hoarder, right? Like, there's newspapers stacked against a whole wall, and there's lots of boxes, and you look, you kind of catch the kitchen and out of your left corner of your eye, and there's you see open cans and like the milk's been left out, and there's like just a smell, and it's just kind of like, oh, good lord, like Jesus, like clean up, like the rug is just dirty. He goes over to the couch and he clears stuff off the couch for you. There's paper and newspapers and stuff. He goes, here, sit
Uh,
down.
I will
Um,
stand, thank you.
okay. Anybody hungry?
Absolutely not.
No,
I'm gonna make myself a sandwich. You guys,
Randall will take one to
okay,
assert
gonna say-
dominance, and
I was
She
gonna say,
pose.
he's been homeless
Archer
before,
will
so
too.
I'm gonna
sandwich
hold
out
up
of this
my
guy's
half
food.
eaten bagel. I'm good.
Archer's
Randall-
lack of social cues is he'll take one.
Randall's food. What is it? What do you call it when someone has a hard time getting their food? Food, not food insecure. What is the word? There's a term for it. Doesn't matter. I just totally ruined the mood. So he's like, all right, peanut butter. I was just gonna make myself a peanut butter sandwich. But yeah, sit down or stand. I don't give a shit. So he goes back to the kitchen, slaps
Gonna-
pieces of bread, and then starts slapping up. Randall, you're there while he's making your peanut butter sandwich.
I'm gonna
Gladly,
lean over to Lucy and just be like, "This guy's a doctor."
I think that's a lie. Right, but then she kind of looks at Arthur like, is Arthur a doctor?
You hear her stomach grumble. He just kind of shoots you a look like, "How are you?" Like,
Randall's still concerned about the situation. Is scanning the room, looking at all the crap that this guy's hoarding. I don't know if it's trash or medical documents, but I'm gonna continue to scan and look.
Yeah, it's a lot of newspapers, like and like paperwork type stuff, and you kind of glancing at it, and there's like you can see his power bill, like past due power bills, and but you also see a stack of like, God, it must be like 5 years worth of power bills stacked up, and each one's marked paid, and like it just looks like this dude doesn't throw shit out.
Okay.
with
That may be good.
history, would Arthur notice any sort of like if he's hoarding a specific date, if he's hoarding a specific year, any sort of obsession with that?
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be the case at kind of a non poking around your shit glance, right?
Yeah.
So kind of looking around, no. But you have, where's your social sciences?
I have one in social.
You have one in social, and you have a ton in shrink. So you'll get something with 0 shrink. You'll get something with 1 shrink, and I'll give you something for 2 shrink. So if you can spend
I'll
up to
burn
2
it.
if you want. You want to burn 2?
Yeah.
All right. So it takes you down to 6 shrink.
Yep.
So you looking things over with your expert understanding of things. Couple things. One, definitely a hoarder, right? Like this is not just somebody who doesn't want to throw stuff away. This is somebody who has a problem, a mental disorder. For the 1 point, it is methodical. So you notice that like there's some hoarders that just keep things. And there's other hoarders that are methodical in nature. So that as gross as this place is, all of the papers are stacked, and you kind of lift up, like if you see a stack of papers, you lift them up, it's all the same thing, right? Like, so it's all the same newspaper or the same this. So there's a method to this. This guy is very methodical. For the second point, you can tell this is a somewhat recent thing for him. So kind of looking at the papers and stuff like this, best guess you're seeing maybe for the last 2 years he's been like this. So this doesn't appear to be the apartment of somebody who's had this mental illness for his entire life or exhibited symptoms.
Do I see anything? Since you said it was methodical, do I see anything that denotes like blue gold or any sort of?
No indication of blue gold or anything. No, no. So he comes back and Randall's got a plate, and he's got a peanut butter sandwich. He sets it down on the table. He clears off his armchair and he sits down. He's got kind of this ratty knife, like the kind of the college kid that had one knife, like he uses this one knife for everything. So he cuts the sandwich with a knife and he sets it down on the table and takes a bite of the sandwich and he goes, "All right, what do you want to know?"
Everything?
I haven't been
Can-
involved in this stuff for years. They fired me. I'm glad they did. So I don't know. I don't know what I can tell you. I don't even know if what you're taking is the same thing I was testing, but I don't know how I can help you. I honestly don't.
Specifically, Group 1.
Yeah, that's what I was in charge of, was Group
What happened?
1. So obviously, Austin was part of Group 1. Super nice dude. Nice old man. There's 5 of them, I think. Yeah, there was 5. There was the other 4 people.
Was there an Eric?
Yeah. So we definitely need to talk about Eric. So Austin was the last one alive. So they're all dead now. And Austin's the only one that didn't kill himself.
Oh.
So, at least that's what I think. I think the others killed themselves. I know Eric killed himself, but let's be. I gotta be honest. I mean, let's be honest. Eric should have never been in the study to begin with, right? And I talked to the Blue Gold guys. I told them, like, he has failed the psychological profile. He should not have been in this study, and they completely ignored my recommendation. And no, and then when Debbie had the car accident, right? Like Eric comes up to me right afterwards and he's like, "Give me her pills." And I'm like, "Dude, like, no, I'm not giving you her pills." And I mean, dude was messed up and he should never have been. I mean, the shit his father did to him and stuff, like, he was not, you don't test drugs on somebody like Eric. And if you told me right now that he killed all of them, I'd believe you. And you know what? I don't think any of them were suicides. And, one at a time, well, all right. So I think Eric may have killed himself. Like, Eric may have killed himself. Eric may have killed himself. But I don't think the other ones were suicides. And at first I thought it was Eric. Like, I thought Eric killed her in the car crash. Like, I don't think that was real. But then Eric killed himself after that. And then the other 2 had their accidents. And I mean, I tried to talk to Austin. I tried to tell him, like, man, you got to get out of this stuff. And and Austin says it's making a difference and whatnot. And I said, like, you need to be careful, dude. Like, you need to get people around you. You should not be alone. And I told him, like, if you ever start having thoughts or anything, you need to call me. And he never did. But yeah, man. But as soon as I started, like, making noise about it, that's when they fired me. They took all my shit. And they put me up in front of the board and they got my license taken away. And my life has been shit since. So I don't want anything to do with any of this. But if you 4 are involved with Blue Gold in any way, if you're part of that study, you need to get out of that.
Randall finishes a bite of his peanut butter and kind of mentions, Doctor, did
I'm not
anybody
doctor
have
anymore, okay?
All right.
You guys know that now.
Mr. Jones? Yeah, I know. Uh, did did you see, or did any of your patients or any of your participants have issues with blackouts?
Blackouts. No. I mean, I remember they talked about headaches sometimes and stuff like that. And I mean, the only one that was like weird, honestly, was Eric, man. But let's be honest, he was weird. But, he's messed up, dude, man. I mean,
Good.
what his parents and his dad and stuff like that, dude's messed up, man. So I mean, but I think it's addictive, right? Because the only thing Eric cared about was getting more pills.
Would shrink or anything? Would I be able to try and pry into that at all? Into his past trauma or whatever he might be referring to?
I mean, you can ask him about it. I don't think shrink would reveal what he's not saying yet. But you want to ask him more about it. Information appears to be flowing.
What is this? What is this past trauma that Eric?
So I don't think Eric was a bad kid. I don't. But I mean, it was clear in the interviews that he was abused, and he had this weird thing with his dad. I think his dad used to beat the shit out of him. He would come just beat up and bruised, and he had cuts on him and stuff. And the way he talked about his dad, I mean, it was classic. He was an abused kid, and he should be part of a drug study, especially a psychological drug study. And I told them that.
How old? And was he compensated?
Well, yeah, what? That's another issue. I mean, he wasn't 18 till after the study started, right?
Oh.
I mean,
was he paid, or do you just?
Yeah, I mean, they paid all of them. Paid me too, I guess.
You said he was weird. Could you elaborate?
He wasn't stable, I mean, like I said, I don't think he was a bad kid. And the only thing, like, the only thing that really, like, I felt bad for the kid. I felt bad for him and Austin were close. Austin, he's a heart of gold, man. I mean, and Austin kind of took him under his wing, I think, and tried to kind of be a bit of a father figure for him. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he was a bad kid. I don't think he was. I just think that I think he got pretty effed up by his parents. I think his dad, especially his dad. I mean, you talk about his mom a little bit, but it was mostly his dad. And I saw it. I mean, he'd come in with black eyes. He'd come in with bandages on his arms and stuff. And you can only bump into the door so many times. You know what I'm saying?
And he only got weirder after taking the.
So, like, I guess it was it go on for. We went almost a year before they fired me, and yeah, the only real change I saw was like he got super obsessed about the pills. Like he's always trying to get more pills from me. God, I'm trying to think. Yeah, what he said what he said one time? He said to me, he goes, "That's the secret. The pills are the secret." I remember him like being super obsessed about it and talking to me about the secret. And I was like, "What secret?" And he told me I wouldn't understand and stuff. And, yeah, I mean, I feel, like I said, I feel bad for the kid, and I probably feel bad for his mom too. I'm sure that's hard, losing your son and stuff. I never met her. I never met the father. So as this conversation is all happening, he's sitting in the armchair. He's got the plate on his lap. You guys are, huddled around him, but giving him space, right? You're not like on top of him. Boy, Arthur, you sit down. Arthur sits down for a second. And for you, Arthur, it's a, God, I'm tired. And you kind of do this. you guys are listening to you're hanging on every word, right? Like this guy is just like you for 2 days now, like you have no idea what the hell is going on. And suddenly this guy is starting to put some pieces together, right? Now we know who Eric is and stuff like that. And it happens pretty quick. Arthur grabs the butter knife and just right into the doctor's shoulder. And Arthur goes, "You're a lying son of a bitch." And the guy's like, "Holy Jesus." What do you do?
Is that to me or?
I'm gonna
try to pull him back.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to like push Arthur over.
So you have no trouble doing that. Arthur falls back onto the couch, and then Arthur, you just kind of wake up and you see the knife in the guy's shoulder. He's like, "What the like?" And everybody's standing there. He's like, he stands up. He goes, "What the hell, Jesus!" And like, and then he sits back down and like he's bleeding.
Where's your first aid kit?
911.
I was gonna say
No, not 911.
Stabbed, Lucy.
Arthur has a 2 in medic, and I know Randall is much better, and I'm waiting for Randall to step in. But I would love to see Arthur try, and like he snaps back, and he instantly goes for the wound.
No, you sit back down.
No.
That he may have just caused. And I imagine him just being tossed back and just completely not lucid about the entire situation.
So
Randall,
he's like, "What the? I mean, Jesus, guys! Like,
wait, no, this has been happening like a lot.
I mean, this has been. I don't feel good. Oh, fuck.
Randall steps up and kind of nods and motions to Lisa and Lucy, "Take care of Arthur." I immediately go tend to Michael's wounds. Michael's the one that got stabbed, right?
Yeah.
Just to clarify, okay.
So he's got it, and you look, and luckily, where he's stabbed, it's all soft tissue, right? It kind of under the shoulder, and honestly, like it's a butter knife. Went pretty deep though. Based on the bleeding, it doesn't look like it's hit an artery or anything. This is kind of give me. Let's get the knife out of there. Let's get a bunch of towels together. Probably should get a tetanus shot because that was a pretty nasty knife.
Very dirty.
But the guy's going to be okay.
Yeah. So I tend the wound and just try to calm him down and while assuming that Arthur's taken care of by the ladies and they're okay because they're my concern. I'm not too worried about this, Michael.
So you put pressure on him. He's like, "What's the deal with your friend?" Jesus, I was like, "Did I say something?"
Say, Michael, this is what we've been dealing with. We've been blacking out. We're nearing the end of our trial, while applying pressure and cleaning up whatever. We're near the end of our trial, and shit keeps happening. It started with our friend Austin, and now things keep happening. People are blacking out. I don't know what happened to Arthur. I'll talk to him in a minute, but that's very uncharacteristic of him. And
I freaking hope so. Jesus,
that's why we need your help. That's why I was so hostile earlier. There's some real things happening, and we can't explain it.
Well, dude, I don't know what's going on. Like, they fired me, okay? And I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. But like you guys need to see somebody. Like this group. This didn't happen with group 1. I don't know what happened with group 2, but like, dude, that's messed up. He stabbed me.
Michael, you have to be able to point us in a direction. This seems silly that you just got fired and you have nothing on them. You didn't keep anything behind you.
Dude, they made
you have
it
no
real
hints
clear.
or clues.
They made it real. Their dude showed up. They told me to forget about Blue Gold, and they killed my fucking cat. And like, I have not gotten involved. This is the most I've ever talked about it since all of that.
Here comes the 90s reference, y'all. You had to have kept a floppy disk full of information before you left.
They took it all. They came into my apartment. They took everything. I had to start all over again. I lost my license. They killed my freaking cat, and they made it real clear that if I kept asking questions and kept talking to people, that things would get real worse real fast.
And you let this happen and didn't
Let it happen.
keep anything behind, keep any evidence, keep anything
I didn't
as
have
a
a
just in
choice,
case.
dude. No.
You stayed in the same town. You
I don't have any
clearly
money.
were-
I'm broke.
So you have no guidance for us to figure out what the hell's going on with us.
What else do you want me to tell you? I mean, like, they're all dead. I wasn't involved after that.
Who were your subordinates? Or not subordinates? Who were your bosses? Who did you
I never
report
worked.
to?
I would go to the facility. The lady at the front desk would give me my checks. She would give me the pills. I would come back. I would distribute it. I would do the surveys. I would bring it back. I only ever dealt with the lady at the front desk. The only other blue gold people I ever met was when the two big dudes showed up and ransacked my freaking place and beat the shit out of me and killed my cat.
Randall grabs Michael's hand, throws it, puts it right on top of the compress or whatever's on top of his wound.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "Sit tight." Turns around and goes checks on Arthur.
All right. So what's been happening over there?
What happened?
Arthur is currently manically scribbling. What was it? You're a damn liar. Was the word?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it was a word was a little bit stronger than damn, but yeah.
Yeah.
That was the idea.
You're a damn liar.
So we are back in another situation where the adrenaline has worn off. So I need all four of you to take stability tests, and I'm going to do Archer last. So let's start with Randall. Randall, do you want to spend any points before you roll?
Yeah, I'll spend one.
Okay. So you'll be at a +1. All right, so you still fail. That's going to bring you down to 3 stability total. The -1 plus the 2 you lost.
Okay.
All right, Lisa, you're at 7 stability. Do you want to spend any before you roll?
I would like to spend 1. Yes.
Okay, that brings you down to 6. You'll be at
Yep.
a +1.
Oh, jeez.
Very nice.
Okay.
You're
Nice.
still at 6 stability. Lucy, you're at 5 right now.
I'm not gonna spend a point. I don't think I can afford it right now.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll it.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Well done.
Arthur, you're sitting at 8, my friend.
Yeah, I think based on my past rolls, we're gonna spend 2.
Okay, so it's going to bring you down to 6. So you'll be at a +2.
All right.
Nice.
Very nice. So you're still at 6. So now we got Lucy at 5, Randall at 3, Lisa at 6, Arthur at 6. All right, so let's cut back.
So
Randall basically is rejoining the group, ensuring Arthur's okay and seeing what's going on over there.
Arthur, you got blood all over your hand.
Yeah, he's there's blood on his notebook. He's becoming lucid now, and he is scribbling these words, and he stops and he breaks the point to his favorite pen, and I don't know if that might be what snaps him out of his manic state, just this prized possession breaking, but he finally comes to and he is horrified.
So I'm assuming that you blacked out.
He's looking at his notebook. He says, physically speaking, no.
Uh,
Ah, so you meant to stab Mr. Dr. Michael?
Jones.
He looks at Dr. Michael Jones, and he goes, is he okay? And he
No.
motion. he
No,
motions-
sit.
No.
Stay right there.
Sit.
Yeah, he's not a doctor. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Not anymore. He says, "What happened? What is? Who's lying? Who?
Well, you stabbed him with a butter knife, actually. And you don't remember any of that? I'm going to assume.
Craig, nothing, right?
Okay.
For you, just like for everybody else, it's a blink.
I may have sat down for a moment, may have shut
And
my
then-
eyes, but no, nothing of that nature. What?
Okay. So
He's
All right.
rubbing his hands on his pants, trying to get like any blood off his hands.
Well,
just-
first off, stop doing that.
yeah.
Evidence. Evidence.
It washes off your hand much easier than your pants.
Okay, we've all blacked out at this point.
I took my pill this morning.
Why?
Well, that's it.
Randall's over there trying to like stop this bleeding, and all of a sudden,
He motions. He goes, Nurse Sarah, it's part of the trial. I've been having great results.
Nurse Sarah said stop taking it after she hung up on you 3 times.
Yeah,
multiple people have told us to stop taking it.
He looks down at his notebook. He goes,
You were
I-
there last night when Lucy. With the
Yeah.
I've been having results.
What results? You just stabbed the man.
This is clearly something else. This is the stress from
This
Austin.
is absolutely not something else.
This is.
What else could it be?
I would have to look into it. On a,
Stop taking the pill.
I will say, I'll say Arthur's messenger bag that he keeps is kind of open because he grabbed his notebook from it. And
Oh my God! Here comes the pigeon.
I swear.
you can clearly see the pigeon. But no, you can clearly see like the pill bottle that he was last given, or the pill box.
Mhm.
And he keeps them on him because it's just like that's his briefcase.
Yeah.
As he's trying to rationalize this episode.
Arthur, we need to flush the pills. Arthur, look at me.
Randall steps in, seeing this, and grabs his bag and pulls his Sunday through Saturday box with the little stores and the box of new pills, and just takes it away and looks at the not so doctor Michael Jones and says, "Where's your bathroom?"
Yeah, it's over there. Like, do I need to go to the hospital or something?
No,
Or-
you're fine. You're
No,
fine.
No,
you
you're
probably
fine.
need a
You're
hospital.
stable. You used to be
You
a doctor.
probably
You should know
need-
you're okay.
You probably need a tetanus shot, my dude. You just got peanut butter jammed into your body.
Can Jesus? Can he take me? Like,
Yeah,
How?
I can drive you. I have no problem with that.
what's his name?
Don't worry about
Point to
that.
Arthur.
Randall's halfway down the hallway saying, "It's none of your business."
Yeah, he has no name. He's not even a citizen.
So, and luckily, Randall, when you get into he's an immigrant. Luckily, when you get into the bathroom, luckily you're not using the facilities for any reason because it's pretty gross. But you take the pills, you pop them into the toilet, you flush them down.
I'd imagine if there was other pills in there, that was
You open the medicine cabinet.
in his Monday through Sunday
Yeah, you
box.
All of them.
Yeah, I keep the Flintstones in there just in case. I don't want his blood pressure or something going crazy.
You gotta leave his baby aspirin in there too. Just
Yeah, baby aspirin. Yeah, it's this
So
little blue with the V. Never mind.
as you come back, he goes, "Any of you suicidal?
Oh,
Like any
no.
of you
No.
having
Not at all.
thoughts? None of you? Okay, that's good.
I think the issue is recently someone mixed the pills with drugs and committed murder.
Oh,
Um,
that's
that
how. Is that
that's
how Austin died?
that is how Austin.
yeah, that is how.
Yeah,
Austin
that is how Austin
That's
died.
how we think Austin died.
Jesus.
Yeah, because the guy also blacked out from when we've spoken to him and woke up with just blood on him in his apartment.
I mean, have you talked to other people in the study? Like, is it just the four of you? I mean,
We
have you talked to
we
like
were
anybody
planning
else?
to.
Have you talked to anybody like God? Who could you like? I don't know if I'd
We
go to the.
tried
I don't know if I'd go to
talk
the
to
farm
Nurse
and talk to.
Sarah, but
I don't know if I'd go to the farm and talk to Eric's parents, but
Yeah,
like,
no.
like how about other people like you?
We're, I have at least one
Margaret.
person on the list that I want to talk to. Parker. Yeah.
I mean,
we didn't know who the people in the first study were besides Austin.
Yeah.
There are no records. They're
Right.
gone. They've been scrubbed
I mean, at this point,
entirely.
I'm, obviously, you guys met Austin's sister. I didn't even know you had a sister. Yeah,
Who?
there's
What?
Eric's parents. Honestly, I don't know if anybody else had family or anything. I didn't really know them that well.
Who was Austin's sister?
Amelia
I mean,
Amelia.
yeah.
at the funeral.
Okay. Oh,
The lady you tried to give the picture.
why did I put two and two because I was just looking at Eric Teller's name.
Yeah. You're hyper focused
I'm-
on Eric Teller.
I'm like flipping through my notes trying to find like an ex-patient.
I mean,
We've had that one girl in our study who reported a
Jenna.
blackout. Jenna.
And I'm pretty sure she uses drugs.
Yeah.
Just,
Jenna's a little.
yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
You said you have Eric's parents' address?
I mean, yeah, they got a farm upstate. If you want that, I mean,
Archer's gonna shoot Randall a look. Because I feel like Randall's like the address book at this point.
Poor Randall.
do you want the address? He can give you the address.
Yeah, it's not gonna hurt.
Yeah, so he gives you the
Yeah.
address. It's about 45-minute hour drive upstate.
And they're still around when he was in the trial?
Yeah, best I know. I haven't heard anything about his mom and dad dying.
Okay.
So Randall's hearing this from the other room. I haven't quite gotten back from the bathroom. I'm assuming Hoarder's hallway's full of shit. I want to snoop around a little bit the best I can while he's preoccupied with stuff. See if I see anything that's medical related, non power bill for 8 years ago.
Yeah, there's nothing, man. It is just all junk. It is just all junk. It's books, it's magazines, it's newspapers.
Okay.
And
Yeah, he
it
makes-
kind of lines up time wise to when his place got ransacked.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was a trigger for him or what, but if his place looked like this when they ransacked it, I'd feel bad for Blue Gold.
So I'm gonna take the stabbing victim to the hospital.
When Randall patched him up, could he tell if he even needs to if he needs to go to the hospital, or is he okay?
He needs stitches.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a.
So
pretty
Randall
good
won't
gash.
interject then.
Okay. Okay. Anything that we want to happen? Do we want to cut to after dropping him off at the hospital? Do
Before
want it to
we
happen
part
more here?
ways, before you part ways with Mr. Dr. Michael Jones, um, just, possibly unrelated, has he seen any, I don't know, black sedans?
Yeah, I mean that's what they all drive. All their muscle drives that.
The muscle.
We are followed. I knew it.
Have you seen? Are they following you? That's great. I bet you they know where. I bet you they know we're talking now.
Well, they been knew we were talking at that point.
I swear to God, if they kill me,
They're not going to kill you.
If they kill you, you can also haunt us, just like every other bullshit possession that's been happening.
Possession? I just think we're losing our minds.
How would I know about Austin's dad? How would I know his sister's nickname?
I don't know. Like,
What? Do you have a better explanation than ghosts?
No, technically speaking, we could possibly have come across that in a conversation
yeah, that.
a while ago. And traumatic events
Austin never
often
mentioned
trigger.
his sister. Ever.
I cannot recall.
Is
But
it
I
in your
cannot
little
den-
notebook?
I would have to grab Lester's notebook.
Everyone, we have to come back. We have to come back. We cannot be mean to each other. We're in this together.
I do want to ask him any. I don't know if I would need to burn a science point. Any sort of information he knows on the drug that he was administering.
So again, it's science is going to be you figuring stuff out, right, as opposed to
Okay.
getting information from him. So I don't know if that would do it, but stuff that potentially could work if you want to get more information out of him. Flattery can be used for that. Flirting can be used for that. Interrogation, intimidation, negotiation.
Someone want to flirt with Dr. Michael Jones?
I mean, I have
Flirt with him.
flattery. Oh. Yeah, you go ahead
Flirt or
and flirt.
flatter.
No, Lucy, go ahead and flirt.
Gosh, I just saw his
Y'all
house.
already
I don't
share
have it in
lots.
me. I might just have to use flattery instead.
Well, first let's talk about what you're trying to get from it, so we can decide whether points need to be used or not.
We didn't even.
So
Yeah,
what
I was told nothing. Like,
what are we trying to figure out? What has he not told us that we want to try to figure out, and then we can figure out what we're going to use to do that, and then how many points, if any, do we want to spend?
Okay. We know what happened to everybody. We have address to Eric's mother. What else do we need from him?
We don't know anything about this drug
Oh,
or
yeah.
what he administered. We
Okay.
told him our side effects, and he didn't. He kind of commented on it, but I feel like he didn't.
So, and he kind of overhears this conversation, and he's like, "Guys, I wasn't part of the development of the drug. I honestly knew nothing about it. It was supposed to help with memory and cognitive decline. Like I said, I saw nothing. Arthur claimed that his memory got better, or that Austin claimed his memory got better. Like I said, I saw a change in Eric, but like, you can't use that data, man. Like,
What
Well,
was the-
Austin also had dementia,
Did you know that?
which he didn't disclose.
oh Christ, no, I didn't know that. Like,
What were you-
like, what were they trying to study? Like, what's the idea? Like, you have a dementia patient, you've got somebody who's obviously mentally broken as a human being, and you're I have no idea what they were trying to figure out. Jesus.
what
I'd
do you
revoke my
remember
own
the
license.
you, do you remember the drug by any chance that you were
Yeah, I mean, it was the thaumasine,
okay?
right? It's the drug that they like.
Yeah.
They've been telling they told all their that's why the stock ran up. And then news got out about everybody dying, and
Do you know if
Yeah,
the
that
they
would-
shut it all down.
Do you know if the
This-
formula changed between group
I
studies?
don't even know what the formula was. No, I don't know. I got
The-
fired. They ransacked my shit. They killed my cat, and
I'm
Now I'm eating
sorry,
peanut
I
butter
want-
sandwiches with people who like to stab me. That's my life.
To be
I
fair,
mean,
only the one with peanut butter sandwiches didn't stab you. That was the other. Anyway.
He should
Anyway, is there
Randall looks at Michael straight in the eyes and says, uh, "Who could we talk to that might have more information?"
any name will help, or even if you have information on the second study?
I was not part of any of this. Do you understand what I'm saying? A year into it, we have one guy kill himself. We have another lady takes a car and runs it into a tree, dies. They end the study. They fire me. I start asking some questions, and they show up to my house. They wreck the place. They take my cat. Then they put me up in front of the board. They get my license revoked. I'm not a doctor anymore. I'm working at a freaking gas station. So
Yeah, I'm
no,
sorry to hear
I don't
that.
know what the second drug was.
Okay.
Can I use my bullshit detector on that?
You sure can.
That statement?
Yep. No need to spend points. This guy's
okay.
telling the freaking truth.
Okay.
Okay.
I reiterate that to the group that I believe this gentleman, and based off of what he said, I believe he's 100% truthful.
Okay.
so you said there were 5. We know Austin lived. Eric killed himself, and the one lady got in a car accident. What happened to the other 2?
God, I'm trying to remember because it was after, right? Because they shut everything
Oh, it
down.
was-
Yeah. So I don't remember her name. Susan, Sarah, something like that. She runs the car into the tree, right? And the reason I was like, so I was super suspicious about it for two reasons. One, she never drove, right? So I think it was like her parents' car or something. She takes the parents' car and she drives up to the mountains and she runs it into a tree, which like I didn't know her that well, but like I knew she didn't drive. So I thought that was fishy, right? That's kind of effed up. Next thing, the next meeting, I've got Eric showing up saying, she's dead. I know you've got her pills. Give me her pills. So I'm like, Jesus, like I've told them that like this guy has no business being in this study, and I didn't give him the pills. So that's screwed up. So then what 2 days later, I think, like, he kills himself. And then God, what if I was, maybe it was like 8 months later. Yeah, it was like 8 months later. The other lady just walks off the top of her building. Boom, she splats on the freaking sidewalk. And how'd the other guy die? Because it was, I remember seeing it in the papers. Oh, yeah, shotgun. He blew his freaking head off. So all was left was Austin. And that's why I
Was
kept
there
saying to
anything-
Austin, dude, if you're getting thoughts or anything, you got to tell me. And he never said anything. And when I found out he died, I thought for sure he killed himself.
Do you think there was anything different about Austin that might have made him react differently to the drug? I mean, out of 5
Now you
people,
tell me he's got dementia. I don't know. But like,
It could
you tell me he's got dementia. I didn't know that. I don't know what I mean, think about this. So you get a psych patient, a guy that should be institutionalized, right? You put him in the study. They knew that. They had the video interviews. They knew he was messed up. And I told them to drop him. I said it several times. And they insisted on him being a part of it. Now you're telling me that Austin had dementia, right? I didn't know that. So no, I don't know. I don't know if the other 3 people were like serial killers. I have no idea.
Well, okay.
He's not using both hands. One hand's covered.
Yeah.
Well,
he's
it
Italian.
Slowly peels off.
Definitely sounds like this Eric fellow. His family, he was close to our friend Austin. Maybe they have some sort of information.
I don't know, dude. Like, I wouldn't get near the father. That's just the only thing I can say. I mean, I never met him, but
Is he our?
I think the father was like a bad dude.
So you violent.
I mean,
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I think he beat the shit out of the kid, right? I think Eric was Eric because of that. And,
Yeah,
you
violent.
know, I mean, that's my guess. I don't know. And, if you've talked to other, like I said, like, I don't know. And here's the thing, right? Like, did any of you lie on your applications? Like, do any of you
No.
guys got stuff going on? Like,
No.
I mean, I may have fudged my name a little bit, but no.
I mean, so I don't know. And like the other, have you, and you said, like, how many people were in your study?
There's us, there's Maggie,
10?
there's Jenna, there's
10-ish.
Like, any of them kill themselves?
Not yet.
no. Thank you.
No. There is one lady with dementia that's in there.
Yeah.
Miss Kingsley.
How do you know she's like? See, that's what I'm talking about, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what is she doing as part of a drug study?
It's supposed to promote brain cognitive ability.
You don't even know what
She's-
you're talking about. You know,
You don't have a license.
just, just give me to.
Wow,
Can you just get me to the
yes.
hospital,
Yes.
or I'll just go myself? Like, I've told you everything I know.
Okay. Thank you. We do appreciate that.
Yeah, let's go get some stitches and a tetanus
Yeah.
shot.
All right. So you guys drop him off at the hospital.
Okay.
He is on the drive. He's trying to be sneaky, but again, he's not very good at this. He's like trying to get names of the four of you, and the four of you are like, yeah, no.
I don't need to be arrested, thank you.
Yeah, and like I'm imagining too, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm imagining Lisa like wants to walk him in, to the hospital. And Lucy's like, nope, thank
Nope,
you.
let's
Pushes
go.
him-
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reaches over
Thank you for your
Michael,
help, sir.
unlocks, opens the door, unclicks the seatbelt, and just go to 5 miles an hour and just hugs him. Just pushes him.
Exactly.
We are
Tuck
coming
and
to
roll.
a full stop.
No, Lisa, go.
So you've dropped him off at the hospital. The four of you are in the car. Doug, the radio doesn't work. You're driving. At this point, it's got to be 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:30. What's next?
Oh God.
Other than keeping knives out of the reach of Arthur.
Yes.
The fact that he had that much strength to do that, there must have been something going on here.
First of all, Lucy just wants to bring this up again because she is super surprised at this. Why were you still taking the pills?
That's a good question. That's a
Oh
good
my gosh.
He
Why are
looks at
you-
her with this kind of like shocked look, and he goes, "I took them every day. I had a cycle. They told me Monday through Friday, one pill
No,
a day."
no, but like after like in 2 days.
Hmm.
That's fine. Okay.
I've-
After Sarah told us to stop.
I haven't had a headache. I haven't. Nothing.
See,
Nothing.
You just stabbed a man.
Touche.
My actions were.
You stabbed the
Ill-in-
man.
He's-
Wait, look.
My actions were ill-informed.
No, you
What
stabbed
do
the
you
man.
mean?
Randall ran outside at night. Lisa is channeling in the dead. I'm acting like a rabid animal. There's something wrong, and it's all coming from these pills. Why did you keep taking them?
I had clinically, I had no reason to not take them. He's trying to
Ugh.
rationalize it, yet he knows that he is 100% in the wrong. But
Yeah.
he's trying to like
That's-
push his like, oh, I'm a neuropsychologist. So he's
I
trying to
studied the brain.
yeah. So he's currently he's trying to rationalize it. You could probably gauge based on his demeanor that
Okay.
he definitely feels ashamed of himself and like embarrassed.
No, and you know what? That's fine because he didn't get any of our names, and we're just in the clear now. We
Oh,
do
sure.
have Muscle like telling us. That's comforting.
Apparently,
Yeah.
Arthur has muscle too, judging by the mother name.
Right. Yeah.
Randall, you're going to say something.
Yeah, Randall, watching this all unfold, like making sure Arthur knows, don't fucking take these goddamn pills.
Well, now he has
and
no
then
pills.
right, yeah,
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 flush them.
yeah. Good luck now, buddy. Remembers him. He just name dropped Nurse Sarah, and going back, we saw Nurse Sarah's application at that building, correct?
Yep.
So we should know where her address is.
You do have her address.
I immediately speak out and say, Lisa, take us to Nurse Sarah's house. I think we need more answers about what's going on now, not several years ago.
Wait, we can also visit Jen Parker because she's been having blackouts constantly as well, at least in her application, if I recall that correctly.
Okay, I can do this, but y'all owe me gas money.
We got you.
Yeah, gas is 48 cents a gallon over there at the Texaco. Don't
That
trip.
is a lot of money.
48 cents a gallon is 48 cents a gallon, my dude.
And had you not stabbed Mr. Jones, he could have pumped the gas for you, but you stabbed him. So,
Well, at least we don't have to tip anyone. So
all right. So we've got here discussions of we need to go see Nurse Sarah. Here, Jen Parker.
I think,
Yeah.
personally, I think Nurse Sarah's probably going to be more helpful because if Jen Parker's blackouts are anything like our blackouts, she's not going to remember much.
If anything, we might get stabbed by her this time.
That is true. One of us might lose our lives. You're
What
right.
goes around comes around.
Yeah.
it's too soon, guys. Too soon.
You're right. Okay, Nurse Sarah. I doubt that she will talk to us, but we can butter her up some. She at least likes some of us,
Just-
maybe?
Leave Archer in the car.
No,
Not on the
Arthur's our
pills anymore.
muscle.
Yeah. If
You thought it was
anything is
Randall.
apparent.
Yeah. Randall heard that and goes, "Did you see how long it took him to cross that fucking street?"
I mean, to be fair, none of you guys thought for 5 seconds about the fact that we have a car.
You bring up a good point, madam.
Well, So-
Nurse Sarah's house. Let's hope she doesn't call the cops on us.
Craig, were you able to cue it up?
It's not.
You were
happening.
oddly quiet. I thought you were going to do it.
Tap
Oh,
the
damn.
radio a
Okay.
couple times.
All right, I'll grab another beer real quick. Then.
This
So
fucking
what-
thing.
I am trying to figure out where we're headed.
I think we're headed to Nurse
Sarah's,
Sarah's.
yeah.
Sarah's.
So she lives out in the suburbs.
Oh God.
You guys drive out to the suburbs. Small house, ranch house. There's a like a blue Honda, tiny like hatchback Honda parked in the parking lot. I mean, it's decent, lower middle class neighborhood.
Is she, before we get out, is she, I know you said Eric Teller's family's farmhouse was about 45 minutes out.
45 minutes an hour, yeah, upstate, towards the mountains.
Okay, so she's the opposite way, or
Yeah, I'm not real sure. It doesn't really matter. She's just, she's suburbs, whereas like that address is like it's not even in Allentown.
okay.
Gotcha. Do we notice that maybe there's any activity in the house, or any lights on, or doors open, windows open, something like that?
Mid-afternoon from just pulling up.
Well, we know she's unemployed right now, so. All right, guys, we gotta go at this softly because remember she told us not to contact her again, and we're doing the exact opposite.
And here we are.
She knows that. She shouldn't be surprised at all.
Right. I think Randall's going to kind of let everybody else kind of walk up and maybe do the front door thing while he stays back, maybe scopes out the side if the driveway goes up along the side of the house, kind of hovers around that side just to see what's going on, just in case, because he's a little concerned about all the things that have been said and going on
Yeah, so as the three of you are walking up towards the front door, there's a little porch. Randall, you go around the side, and there's like a side door. So if to a mud room, like you would have on the
Mhm.
side where people park and they go in. That door is wide open, and the door jamb has been torn off.
Uh, upon seeing that, I'm gonna boogie over to the front of the house and let the group know. Don't be ringing no doorbells. Uh,
Midnight.
yeah, yeah. Stop, guys. Shh. The door's busted on the side. There's something else going on here. Randall's gonna go back to the car and grab his handgun.
Okay.
Put it in his back. Uh, whatever.
Yep.
Behind his belt. Holsters it, and gonna kind of approach that open doorway. See what he sees.
I want to be behind Randall and kind of see if I can sense trouble if possible.
Okay. All right. Do you want to spend any points
Point.
on sense trouble?
I do want to spend 2 points.
Okay. So let's see.
And you know what, Craig? For the sake of game mechanics, I'm going to spend 2 to buff her 1. Is that how that works?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Cool. I'm going to do that.
All right. So let's see. Why am I not seeing sense trouble?
Yeah, I have a 10 in it.
All right. So you've got a 10. So you want. All right. So you're going to spend
Dang.
2. You're going to go. So you're going to be actually at a +3, right? So
Okay.
you're going to spend 2 of your own, and then Randall is spending 2 to go down to 2. So you're going to be at a +3 on sense trouble. Go ahead. And
Okay.
roll.
All right, rolling. Oh, thankfully.
Wow.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Oh, for the
Hey.
stream, sorry, the die didn't show up on the board. It was
It's okay. Yeah,
oh,
we rolled a 4.
rolled a 1 + 3. Yeah, to
Yeah,
4.
roll 1 + 3. So, yeah, the hair on the back of your arms is standing up, and yeah, something's effed up.
Okay, I'm gonna
your spidey sense is going off.
I'm gonna kind of whisper that to Randall. Something seriously wrong here.
Because I aided, I would feel the same thing. Would that be correct? I look back and kind of knowing I'm more of a protector than I am putting people's self-sacrifice over putting other people at harm. I would almost urge that the rest of the group kind of stay back a little bit and watch their 6, and I'll be the meat shield walking into this environment depending on what's going to happen.
Lucy will disagree with you and insist on coming in as well.
I'm gonna hang out at the door.
I was gonna say that with preparedness, would Arthur have a flashlight to peek into the window?
I think that's possible if you succeed the roll. Yeah.
I would for sure tell him not to pull out a flashlight to not announce our presence.
He's trying to peek in the blinds.
Okay.
All right. So you've got 5 in preparedness. Do you want to just roll straight, or do you want to spend some points on it to have a flashlight on you?
We're gonna roll straight.
Okay. All right. So reach into your messenger bag, and yeah, you do. You have a flashlight.
Looking, it's not like a super bright flashlight, but just like a handheld one. Does he see anything on the immediate floor in front of him through the blinds?
So you look in the blinds, and there's not. It's kind of hard, right? Because the blinds are kind of closed, but you got the flashlight in there, and you're looking, and you can't see everything. You're just seeing into one of the rooms. It's like a sitting room, TV room, and you're not seeing anything there. No. If you want to go around the front, the same in the front.
Yeah, he would, upon not seeing anything, he is going to just click it off. He doesn't have any sort of sense of dread or horror like Dika or Nick. So he's gonna kind of round the corner and follow suit with them.
Okay.
question before we hit in. Is there like any like, let's say a child has a bat. Before we get, is there like any bats or things that can be like a man makeshift weapon really quickly?
Ooh. Hmm. I would take preparedness rolls to find something like that. So who wants to make that?
I can make that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let's
Um,
see. And you've got how much? You've got 4 in preparedness. Did you want to spend any of it?
I'll spend one.
Okay, so I'll take you down to 3. You'll be at a +1. Let's see if you can
Hey,
find a Louisville Slugger.
All right. Please roll 5.
Yeah. So you kind of
peanut butter knife. Someone in chat, sorry.
Okay, and I'm right behind Randall.
Gun's not out, but it's my hand is on um the handle. I've got it in my hand, but it's still tucked behind my belt. He's back. Craig, you still there?
see me. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm here.
we see you
I
now.
can see now.
Okay.
It reconnected. So yeah, I do have my hand on my gun, but it's still tucked under my belt on my back. So
Okay.
and I'm slowly walking in, using my other hand to kind of move doors open and move things open, trying not to touch anything, and also reiterating to the group: do not put your prints on anything. There's something wrong here.
So you walk into what is a mud room, right? There's some boots and shoes. You can see Nurse Sarah's nurse shoes there. There are drawers, as so like there's a place for like storage, right? Shelf. There are like benches with storage under them. They have been pulled out and broken apart and emptied. So the mud room is a mess.
Yeah,
And
all
then
the
there's a door, and you can see that the door is going to take you to a kitchen. But the
all
door's
the
closed.
lights are off, right?
All the lights are off, but it's mid-afternoon, so it's not like dark.
Oh, okay.
So I think we're gonna itch forward, little by little, making our way into that next room.
So you put the hand on the kitchen door, push it open. It's not a large kitchen. It's got linoleum counters, the classic. Everybody had that yellow fridge there. And you look down and you see Nurse Sarah in her own blood. She's barefoot. Looks like she might have a house coat on, some sort of nightgown, house coat. And you saw a lot of shit in Vietnam, man. You saw people shot. You saw people blown up by mines. You saw people burned to death. What you've never seen is somebody's entire torso ripped open and strewn about the room. There's intestines pulled out and cut. There's her chest is wide open. You can see the ribs. Instead of being closed, they're pointing out. You can see a lung has been torn out. Don't see the heart. It blood is everywhere. It's dried. I don't know how to describe this. Her forehead's gone. Like something has torn her forehead off. And the brain looks like half chewed. So not knowing anything, it's like an animal. Some sort of like wolf or bear or something came in here and just tore her chest open. It looks like some of it may have been consumed, maybe, I don't know. And then just took the front of her forehead off. And there's no sign of that. And the blood is dried, and you can smell her. Who wants to
Would
roll
I-
stability first?
Sure.
Do you want to spend any points?
I'm gonna spend 1 point.
All right, let's put you at a +1.
All right. God damn it.
Let's go and drop you down to 2. minus 1 for the spend, plus another 2. You are at 2 now, Lucy.
I sure am.
Randall, you've got 3 left, my friend.
Yeah. Calculating
Funny
if this
guy.
is my last session. I think it's worth. Let's spend 1, so I'll go down to 2.
That'll take you down to 2, so you're going to +1.
Don't worry, Randall. We're here, Randall. We're here.
Good for you, Randall.
Yeah, doesn't freak me out at all. I just kind of.
Who's next?
Only us 2 winning.
Who's next?
I was behind y'all, so I will pop a point there.
All right.
To
So that
roll
puts
it.
Arthur down to 5.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We're good. Lisa?
With Lisa outside, is hers any
She
different?
is outside. So you don't necessarily have to test, Lisa. It kind of depends
Oh.
on what you're going to do.
I mean, what do they do? Do they
I
make
don't know.
any? Are you guys making any sort of?
Oh, yeah. For sure. From me, you hear ear-piercing scream.
I'm
I
gonna
definitely.
kind of poke my head into the door and be like, what's going on?"
I just kind of book it past her outside and just kind of dry heave, feeling like I gotta throw up.
I am not going to attempt to see what has made Lucy react this way. Instead, I am going to go out there and like pat her back.
Okay.
Hold her hair.
Yeah.
So Randall and Arthur, Arthur, I figure you're kind of in the mud room. You're just at the threshold of the kitchen. And there's no way to really get farther into the kitchen without getting blood on your shoes. And
It's clear she's 100% dead. No breathing, no
Oh,
nothing.
she's
There's no doubt.
And-
I'm not going to go and try to resuscitate her.
yeah, with half a
dead
brain
body.
and no heart, she's dead.
It's
Alright.
nothing is self-inflicted. It's all
No.
yeah, okay.
I look back. I see Lucy jet the other way.
This
I
wasn't a gun. This wasn't a knife.
I see Arthur, and I say, Arthur, get the girls to safety. Go get in the car. Go get help. Something's wrong here. I immediately pull my weapon out.
Does Randall have a pager or anything?
No, Randall does not have a pager.
Shit.
I got a
Um,
Nextel chirp chirp.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, Arthur
don't,
is he might not have lost stability, but he is definitely shook by seeing this, and following suit, he'll walk out to the ladies and
Because Lucy also worries about her friends. She's going to say, "Oh gosh, someone don't leave Randall by himself in there."
Arthur avoids confrontation and conflict, so this is kind of like a blessing in disguise. For him.
So what's Lucy gonna do?
Ooh. At the dry heaving, she's gonna attempt to go back in.
Okay.
And call into Randall. Randall, are you going further in the house? Like kind of talking from the side, not trying to look in at the same time.
Upon hearing that,
The slot.
I just close the door and lock it. I'm at that kitchen door,
You closed the kitchen door, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you closed the kitchen door.
gun in
Son
hand,
of a
locked
bitch.
it.
You can't lock it from the outside. You don't have keys.
I'll be on the inside. I'm locking them
okay. So
out
you're gonna
and me in
lock yourself into the kitchen.
with my
Is that
gun
what you're
drawn.
saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you do that. Lucy, you come up, you see the door
Idiot.
close, you hear the click, and you see Randall on the other side. It's a window.
Randall.
And I nod and yell, "Get to safety!" And I'm going to start walking away from that door and sweeping the room with my gun in hand, ready to fire at the first thing that pops out.
So you sweep the room. It's not a big room. It's a small kitchen. You sweep it. There's no. You're right now. I've got you right at the threshold. You're on the cheap tile floor. If you're moving further in, you're getting blood on your shoes. And I'm not saying you shouldn't or anything. I just want you to be aware that like you're gonna have to step over Nurse Sarah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Yep. So you work your way into the kitchen. To the left is kind of the front living room area. You kind of work your way into there. Super cautious. It's not dark. You sweep and you look. There's a hallway. Obviously leads back to the bedrooms, you would assume. Start working your way down the hallway. All the doors are closed. And stop me at any point, right? You test the first door. It's unlocked. You push it open. Guns out. Sweep. Empty. Check the closet. It's obviously a guest room. It's got a little full-size bed. Nothing. Check the next bedroom. Looks to be the master. You push it open. It's got a queen-size bed in it. Obviously Nurse Sarah's room. Master bath. Full bath off of it. You check the full bath. Nothing. You go over and right across from the guest bedroom, there's one more door. Doesn't you don't have to be a real estate agent. It's probably the bathroom, right? Like the half bath probably in there.
Mm-hmm.
And test that door. It's unlocked. So you push it open, and see toilet. And it is a half bath. It's got a sink, older tile. There's toothbrush, toothpaste, and stuff. On the sink itself. Looks like a medicine cabinet. With a mirror on it, and you're just kind of sweeping there, and the door's open, and you look back in the mirror again. What the hell? Everything's in slow motion. You see it. You start moving backwards, and you're moving backwards fast, but it doesn't feel fast. It feels slow. And you put the gun up. Off to the right, you couldn't see it from where you were standing, but you saw the effing thing through the mirror. And it comes through. Best guess, it's about the size of maybe a Mastiff. So it's big. Unlike a Mastiff, it's not touching the ground. So it's eye level. It's got this bulbous, huge, like thorax-shaped front head with this just grotesque, spiked, like nose trunk thing out the front. You see the spikes it has out of the back, and they're not like an organized spike like a dinosaur. They're just random spikes that are out there. You see like these Tyrannosaurus Rex hands that are there as well out the front of it. Its bottom is curled, like imagine like a hornet striking, right? So its bottom is curled under. You can see its little Tyrannosaurus feeble legs and a split kind of scaly tail. And you're moving back, and this thing is floating towards you. The snout comes up, and you see the mouth, and it's like the circular mouth, and it's got these teeth, and it opens up like this in the teeth, and out from the mouth is that effing drill bit. Just goes, of extends out of that. Let's go to credits. We'll be on the other side.
Ah.
One life.
So lots of conversation. Jim in the chat says, spend two. I can see Kyle's saying taxidermied bear strikes again. I've been trying to not watch the chat because you guys are too funny. It's too distracting. Let's see. Let's start with Shanika.
Okay.
So talk to me where Lucy is right now about everything.
Okay. She's pretty freaking out right now. Like normally she's like an even kill like 2. She's about an 8. Because things are just like progressing super fast, more than her liking. She don't have enough time to really process it. So it's like, okay, I'm blacking out. That's fine. Randall's blacking out. Oh shit. And then it happens to Lisa. It's like, okay. And then it happened to the last person. Arthur stabbed someone, and that's when she fucking was like, oh my god, okay. This is it. But no, she's having a meltdown just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then Randall saw the nurse's body, freaked out, ran outside. Every intention to come back with the bat to come help, because just Spidey senses went 100%. This don't do this. So yeah, right. She's hoping for the best right now because Randall didn't scream or anything. Like everything's good. He'll be back out.
It's fine.
It's dandy. So yeah, that's her.
So Vic, you know a lot more now at the end of episode 3 than you guys knew at the end of episode 2. You had theories at the end of episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
Are any of them reinforced? Any of them changed? Do you have a new kind of set of hypotheses?
I mean, I'm still a big fan of the ghost possession theory. Like that's what makes sense to me. I'm not sure where we're at with the first test group. Obviously bad. It's bad. There was bad stuff. Yeah, some of my theories have been reinforced, like the possession. And some of them I'm just like, I have no idea where this is going.
Does the fact, obviously your character doesn't know this, but Vic, you know this. Does the appearance of this thing change the ghost theory at all, or because we to a certain degree we've gone from potential ghost stories up to this point, right, personal horror ghost stories, to now we've got monster of some sort, and that doesn't mean one invalidates the other. Just wondering if that surprised you. Does that change anything?
Those things can coexist in my mind. I was a little surprised by the addition of a monster. Not like shocked, but like, oh hey, there's also this weird floaty fetus wasp T-Rex thing
with a drill
in his mouth. Which is off-putting. Like, where did this come from? Is this perhaps possibly a hallucination?
Mm,
Um,
good point. Good point. Not really concerned about Arthur. I think we've got a strong sense of Arthur. I want Cody, thoughts, changes that's happened since what did this episode give you?
Um, I had the theory that Archer was on a placebo, uh,
Mm,
and that theory has seemingly proven wrong, based on what has happened. So, um, I think I kind of viewed him as like the lone duck of maybe this guy has the placebo. He's not actually taking the drug. Um, but now that he's actually experiencing all of the symptoms, it makes it a lot more interesting. And hopefully he doesn't bring up the strength to stab anyone else.
what I mean, and obviously it's going to change right between now and our next episode, but often with investigative, let alone investigative horror, you kind of have your checklist, right? Like, I want to look into this more. We need to explore this. We need to pull this thread. We need to pull that thread. For you as a player, Cody, what are the threads that are hanging right now that you're hoping to pull at some point?
I think Eric Teller, for two reasons. One, okay, it's gonna be a meme, the pigeon. So the pigeon that was from him, but also the fact that um, I think he would have recognized that Eric was the only person to have said words like that Lisa had said.
Mm,
And so that might have kind of like pinned a pinned a point in the chalkboard or the pinboard. Um, and I think he's interested in him. But also this Nurse Sarah situation is horrifying, and who knows? He might be onto a red herring.
had she not hung up on Randall, would she still be alive? All right, Nick. So everything you did to put yourself in this position completely fits the character. So first of all, hats off, right? Because that's not meta playing. That's you playing your character. It's you playing the restrictions you put on yourself as a character. And I can't remember off the top of my head, but what is the things that um, what's the thing you had to put in the
The
character that basically makes you put yourself in dangerous positions?
the
Risk
risk
factors.
factors.
Risk
Risk
factor.
factors. One of the things that I love about Fear itself is the risk factors, because in so many other horror games, there's a bending over backwards that people in the scenarios do to try to keep the 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 investigators and the players in danger. And I give credit to Gareth as well as to Robin for just creating this concept of, these are risk factors, and they're just saying, look, this is a horror movie. People do dumb stuff in a horror movie, but there's a reason they do this dumb stuff, is because there's something that drives them, and each of you guys had to pick a risk factor that caused you to do it. So, as a role playing thing, Nick, hats off. So as a player, what threads are out there for you if you survive?
Yeah. So my risk factor was actually need to save innocent lives, and the simplistic rule set in this system to really drive role playing uh, is fantastic, because I can look at that one statement and go, I can run with this, as opposed to trying to build this huge story arc and try to figure out how that captures in every moment. There's one statement, and look what it's done. I've been able to write it, and I was worried because I love this group. I love playing this game, and I was like, my character would do this, and
Yeah.
I'm risking the fact, and I feel emotionally invested in that, and I get more excitement out of that, and I'm hoping the group and the viewers also see that, and it just makes a better story, and that's ultimately, and even DZ mentioned it last night about it doesn't matter what uh what it did for your character. It matters how it progressed the story and made other people feel, and how the story came together, and risking it, risk it for the biscuit. It was
Yep.
worth the biscuit. It was
Yep.
awesome. So, um, I forgot what your question was,
So the
Craig. I
question is,
just
what are
yeah.
what are the threads that are hanging right now that you still want to pull?
Oh God. I'm worried that what I'm seeing is a hallucination of me potentially taking a drill to myself, knowing what not Doctor Michael Jones uh, told us about suicide, and everything's been mental uh, 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 in nature. That it also seems really fucked up, and I'm kind of rooting for it, and I hate it, but I'm kind of rooting for it. But yeah, that's kind of where the threads are for me of what I want to see next. And hell, if I have to spectate for the next 3 hours on the next session after the entry scene, I'll do it because this story is fantastic. And Craig, you're doing a great job.
I appreciate it. All right, so real quick, obviously, for those of you watching right now, if you're watching live and you haven't already followed us on Twitch, if you would do that right now, it'd be great. If you're really digging this stuff, don't be afraid to subscribe, especially if you're using Amazon Prime. You can use your Prime membership to get a free sub here, and I would love that and appreciate it. If you're watching a recording of this, whether it be on Twitch or YouTube, a little follow there and a subscribe there would be very helpful to us. You know, it's another thing that's super helpful, especially on YouTube, is putting a comment. Just even if the comment says, "Hey, loved it," "Hey, hated it," Craig's an idiot. But putting comments on the recordings also help kind of give us visibility. Last but not least, telling other people. If you're enjoying the content that we're putting out here, I really appreciate it. Last but not least, all four of these guys are supporters of me. All four of these guys are patrons. Well, one of the several benefits of being a patron is when I'm looking to cast these actual plays, I turn to my patrons first and give them first dibs on it. And boy, oh boy, do we have a good cast. We have a really good cast. So for those of you that are watching live, the chat was as usual as awesome. I am not committing to there being a radio ad in episode 4, but I'm not saying there won't be. And last but not least, I'm going to remember to do something. Oh, let me talk about next week real quick. 8 o'clock Eastern, Thursday the 26th. The guys, Kyle from Weird, the designer of Vagrant Song, the new board game coming out from Weird. Kyle's going to teach me and 3 other players how to play Vagrant Song. We're going to use Tabletop Simulator. He's going to walk us through how to actually play this game. I'm super excited about it. Partially because Kyle is so excited about it. And I have, after spending the last year and a half, 2 years, talking to these designers and things like this, I can just get a sense of when somebody who makes something is super excited about it. I can just tell. So I already know I'm going to love the game. So if you want to check out this game, make sure you tune in next week, Thursday the 26th at 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock on Friday Eastern, Friday the 27th, the next day, believe it or not, I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons. So Craig is playing 5e, but it's a very special circumstance, and that is Brett Blazinski from Gaming and BS. He created a setting for Dungeons and Dragons 5e. He created a thing called Streets of Avalon. He's been on this podcast. I interviewed him. He's become a pretty good buddy of mine. Both him and Sean over there are just good people. Plug them too. If you don't listen to Gaming and BS, you need to do that. But he's going to be the DM, and it's going to be me. Nick's going to be on there. We got a couple other players, Roman, who you've known from our Star Wars game, and then Sean from Gaming and BS. The 4 of us are going to learn about the Streets of Avalon, and I get to play. And this is going to be the first time of me playing 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. Quite frankly, it's the first time I've played Dungeons and Dragons in almost 30 years.
Wow.
So yeah, Redbox is the last time I played Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm super excited about that. Saturday, the 28th, another 3 days in a row live streaming. We're going to be live streaming our Star Wars. Is the wrapping up the Adventures in Cloud City, and we're going to be doing that at noon on Saturday, the 28th. So let's quickly take a look and let's do a raid. So give me just a second. Let's see who's out there. You know who's out there? Texas Doug is out there. So we're about to go raid a good buddy of mine. The Goslato channel. He's painting, he builds, he does a lot of stuff for Weird. Texas Doug is a great dude. So let's go raid him. And if you're not already following his channel, let's show him what the Floorheads can do. Let's head over there right now. If you watch this whole thing and you're watching it as recording, I appreciate it. Take care, everybody. So let's not cut this until the raid's over.
Yep. All right.
We're good.
Lone Star Doug. All right.
That was
All right.
awesome.